What is up, everybody? Thank you for being here. This is the place to be for the next hour, hour and a half. Who knows? I might keep these guys all night. We have an amazing cast of characters for you today. It's all vinyl community royalty, and I think we have some fun topics lined up. As always, please weigh in with your thoughts, ideas, comments. The show is way better with audience participation. So let's get everybody on screen. Bam, there we go. And I'm going to introduce tonight's panel. First off, we got who I thought was the self-proclaimed most hated person in the vinyl community, but I don't know. I don't know if that's true, man. But here he is today. Yeah, we also got sad vinyl going on today, so it's a surprise for me. But Jason Rojas, how in the heck are you, man?
I'm doing all right, Jason Spins. Shout out to my other VC Karens. You know, shout out.
Thank you for being here, man. Next up, the man that I like to call, I think I will see if this moniker sticks. I don't know, but I call him the human jukebox. And the reason I do that is because with his zero effort, all he has to do is reach to his right without even looking and pull any record on our mind will just appear like a magician. And of course, I'm talking about Jose Moreno. Ron, what's up, baby?
Hey, good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good. Next up, you know him, you love him. The man with 100% attendance record on this channel, which I appreciate, my brother. The Cal Ripken of the vinyl community, the concert buddy himself. Chance, what is up?
What's going on? I'm also the man of 1,000 napkins, so if it gets a little messy in here, I'm fully prepared to wipe up.
You're the guy that goes to Chili's and can I have more napkins and just like stuff them in a bag?
Hey, I'm takeout. I'm a takeout order's worst nightmare because I love, especially at Chipotle, they got the nice forks and then nice spoons.
You got to get something for free.
Hey, listen, you're paying for it. You paid for it, so just take what you need, as they say.
And then last, but far from least, the man that started it all. And if you guys haven't seen Concert Buddy's interview with the man up top there, Brandon, you got to check it out. A true pioneer of the vinyl community. The reason we're all here right now. And also the first time we're getting to exchange words in real time outside of Instagram or the comments section. And I am stoked to meet Brandon, the Hall of Famer. Brandon, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. We got some fun lined up as always to chat about. And you know me, like I like to keep it wholesome. So, you know, tonight's until Jason Rojas takes it off the rails or something, we like to keep it wholesome. So today we're talking about some fun stuff. We're going to kick it off with our hidden gems. And you guys get involved too. You know, if you definitely chime into the comment section, we'd love to hear what yours are. Today's topics, hidden gems, and then we got guilty pleasures, and then we got big mistakes that we've made as vinyl enthusiasts. So let's get it going. Who wants to jump in? Does anyone have records lined up and champing at the bit to show off? All right, cool, Jason.
I'm gonna start getting records while everybody talks. All right.
So I rediscovered this record, and it was very popular in the 80s before I show it. And they had so many hits I didn't know, you know. So a few weeks ago, a friend was like telling me about this record, and I was like, nah, I don't want to listen to it. You know, like, nah, I put it off. And then I was bored and I wanted to hear something. So I clicked like the Apple Music link that he shared to me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy smokes, like, this was too good, like ridiculously, like hit after hit after hit. And I was like, wow, what the hell? From 1983, the Pointer Sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so of course.
That's the one too, dude.
The whole first side is like a winner. Like it slays. Like you can't even, you know, Jump for Your Love, Automatic, my favorite song. The remix of I'm So Excited. The Neutron Dance, and then even that minor hint called I Need You, super, just amazing. Perfect A side, you know? And plus, if you look at this, I noticed this. Let me see if I can get it. She pegged her pants. I mean,
of course she did.
Man, come on now.
Dude, that's a great one. I am fully on board with that record, man. I love Neutron Dance and Automatic are just, they take me back, dude. I love those tunes.
And I paid a cool $5. So this is the thing. You can get this for under 10 and it's a winner.
I was going to say, you might have paid over retail.
That's right. But
I've
this
never
is
seen a record before.
cheap jam. You can get this.
Yeah.
Is that like disco? I don't know the artist. What is that?
Oh, it's 80s. It's
What?
80s pop.
Yeah.
You really?
I was named from the stream. Come on.
So,
you know.
so when you come to Austin, this is the first record we'll
All right.
listen to. Okay.
Hey, Jose, have you ever seen the movie Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, then you've heard the Pointer Sisters.
All right. I mean, that's a great way of saying it.
Yeah, that's Neutron Dance, right, Brandon? Isn't that the
Yeah.
song that's on there? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was talking with a friend yesterday, and I was seeing that the band Heart is playing.
Touring, yeah.
Yeah, they're playing Austin when we're gonna be in Austin, and but I was like, I don't remember any songs, and he was like, oh, do you remember Virgin Suicides? There's like 2 songs. I was like, that's the best way to get me to remember a band is like in a sound. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't sometimes don't learn, the name or up front. Well, anyway.
Hell yeah, Jason. That's a great first pick, man. You got another one, or how do you? Should we go around? I don't know how you guys usually do it. We'll just go around. Okay. Who's next?
Well, are you doing hidden gem? Which category are we doing? Because I'll do mine. Because I'll do mine real quick, and I have to get a delivery. It's outside my door. So which?
Yeah. Let's do hidden gems, baby.
Hidden gems. Okay.
That was a hidden gem, right, Jason? Or was that a guilty pleasure?
No, that's a hidden gem.
Okay.
It's like affordable.
Right.
It's not well known. It should be like top of the 80s.
Oh.
Like you think of the 80s, like that one.
Yep.
All right. So if you'll make me big, I'm ready for this one. I've got a hidden gem, but it's hidden in a couple different ways. So this is let's see if I can get a non-glare going. So Rojas will probably know this one. This is Little Beaver.
That's a
Great name.
nice swag.
So yeah, this is Swagzilla right here.
Right.
But more importantly, this is a very hard record to find. Any of the Little Beaver stuff is not very easy to find, but this is like a soul, like a electric guitar, like Maven from I think Miami. Jason, isn't he from Miami? If I'm not mistaken. Do you remember? But anyway,
Pretty good.
this is one of those things that like you would buy it just for the cover because this guy, like Jose said, is swag master.
I like the
But
label.
Uh-huh.
Then you put it on and you're like, holy smoke, as it's melting your speakers, because this dude could play. This dude could really rip. It's one of those kind of lost in time kind of people that if you know, you know. And I didn't know until I knew. And once I knew, oh, daddy. This was.
What kind of music is that, Chance?
Think like, so this, I think it's a 71, 72. So think like kind of funk. Think of like probably the easiest, and this is probably a terrible comparison, but just for the sake of this conversation, think of like Funkadelic Maggot Brain, like Eddie Hazel, like level. Like I'm not saying this guy's as good as Eddie Hazel. I'm just saying think like you hear the opening riffs of Maggot Brain and how it's ooh, you're listening to something cool. This record, anything Little Beaver does, not everything, but a lot of the music he was making back then. Right in that wheelhouse, like you're like, oh, I wish I could do the Jason Rojas sound. Oh, because that's the deal. Oh,
That's
like
a sick guitar too, man.
Yeah. Everything is cool about the cover alone. So if you find this in the bins, you're gonna get a steal because this goes, it's not terribly expensive, but you're talking about like between 50 and 100, depending if where you find it and so forth. And the other thing too is whenever you can find these old labels. Like this is on Cat Records.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's like fresh, verified, of just like cool on every single level. So This is one that I would call a hidden gem. And I think he has a more famous record. Like I know Bob Bradley showed like his more collectible record, which I don't have and I don't know, but it did inspire me to like be on the lookout. And I saw Little Beaver, and come on, Jose hit around the head. Look at this dude.
Oh yeah, dude, he is styling. That's awesome, man.
Look at those, like, what do you call this in English? The
butterfly collar.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. This dude don't play, man. Look at that. I mean, the collar alone. What's bigger than
the car that turns into shoulder
like the
pad.
lapels coming off the coat, man,
Yeah.
just like forever.
If I wear that, it would look silly as fuck. So that guy, on point. I like
Someday I dare you to find a butterfly collar, anything, and bring it out.
Oh man.
All right. Who's next?
You got something, Jose? What do you think?
Yeah, but I'll go full like hidden gem in the sense that it is known here, but I'm going to show like a record in Spanish. So it's a little rarer or more hidden to people maybe in the VC, maybe, I don't know. So this is a record. I think I've showed this before in other places, but this is a prog record from Argentina called Invisible. It's the name of the band. You write it the same, Invisible, in English. So I guess you could call it Invisible. I don't know. But the name of the record is called El Jardín de los Presentes, which translates to the Garden of the Presents, if that makes any sense. But this is a prog record. It's beautiful. It has very much Argentinian taste to it. It has like instrumentation and all that, but it's a beautiful record. This came out in 1976, but it has like this sort of like the first track is about like going out in space and all that, and it's just a beautiful record. There's not a lot of singing, so I think that's better when people don't know like a language, because sometimes you're like, oh, this is in Spanish, and you're like, but Cesar's here. He'll test that this is not a hidden gem, but this is definitely like underrated within the VC, because I don't see as much music in Spanish that's not like the typical salsa or cumbia,
Right?
There's like just straight up proggy rock from the 70s, and I guess that would be my hidden gem that I can have here around, at least for now.
That's cool, man. You always show stuff that, man, the only way I'm ever going to discover stuff like that is through you. That's cool. All right, Brandon, what do you got, man?
All right. Yeah, that was a good one, man. You actually made me think of one I'm going to have to go grab and share here. So that was a good one. The one I'm going to go with is my first one here. And this is one I thought about picking because I've talked about this album so much in the past couple years. And one of the things that really kind of stands out to me is it's a name that absolutely everybody knows, but somehow this album got skipped over. I think I've actually sent it out as VCLT to 3 different people in the VC.
Oh,
but
really?
It is Western Stars by Bruce Springsteen. And in my opinion, this is arguably, I could sit down and make the argument that this is his best album ever. And like being able to say that, and like I said, so many people that I've spoken about with this, and I remember hearing about it, hadn't really heard anything off of it, just all of that. And I'm just like, you are missing an absolute gem, a gem of an album.
Okay.
And basically, if you're looking through his catalog, this is going to touch closer to Nebraska. It's going to be on those lines, except Nebraska kept it really soft. It's just kind of really that low key thing that Bruce does. On here, he's still keeping it like Western, kind of like the title Western Stars, like a Western kind of cowboyish thing to it. But what he does is to bring out the big explosiveness in songs when they really need to have some energy and that type of thing. He does it with strings, like with cellos and that type of thing. And it's all inserted so perfectly that it's just one gigantic emotional ride in this album. And for the life of me, I can't understand how any big Bruce Springsteen fans the album just got totally skipped over. And as always with Bruce, the amazing storytelling, like the first track on side 1 is one called Hitchhiking, where basically it's just that he's just telling you like a first person point of view about this guy that's just hitchhiking and all the different people that he's meeting. He talks about meeting a guy who drives an 18-wheeler and, hopping up and seeing the picture of his girlfriend on the dash and how he's riding high on top of the world. And then he meets this couple that are, she's pregnant and they're talking about like the joy of having the kid. And then he meets this this motorhead guy that just like wants to show you how bad his hot rod is. And he's describing how he's flying down the streets and the telephone and the trees are just whizzing by. and it's just like he pulls you into those stories where you just hear it so freaking clear. And just real quick, I should say, some other stuff on here. The title track, Western Stars, amazing. Chasing Wild Horses, amazing. Sundown, Stones, There Goes My Miracle. You've got to have this freaking album. Oh my gosh.
What year did that come out?
2019.
Okay. I was saying, how have I never heard of that? But okay, that's a much newer one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, beast of an album.
That's super cool. All right, I guess I'll do one of mine. I pulled out a bunch, so I don't know about you guys. If you guys have more to go, we can keep going around the horn.
I have like 4.
First one I snagged was this one. I was kind of in an 80s mood, and this is The Sound, their album From the Lion's Mouth, which I had no clue about until I saw it on someone else's channel. And this came out, I'm not sure what year, but it's, early mid 80s, something like that. And this one's an original, but this is scarce. It's been reissued, but even the reissues are hard to find. But it's very much kind of in that gothic. It's kind of a mix of gothic and new wave. It's very 80s, but it'll probably make you feel like Bauhaus a little bit, or if that's how you say it, Bauhaus, that kind of thing. And it's really kind of a mood thing for me. I haven't memorized the lyrics or anything, but it's one of those things where, when you're kind of in that mood where you want to hear some of that, you want to mix something in between the Cure and Susie and the Banshees and the Bauhaus, grab this record. It's very, very good. It's very musical. It's well done. It's so, I know The Sound isn't an unheard of band, but I just don't feel like their name gets mentioned very often. And I put this right up there. If anything, it's not as poppy as some of those other bands where, their stuff's really playable on the radio and stuff like that. So, but if you're just looking for some moody to put on and really just kind of groove to, from the first track to the last track on side 2, I feel like you could do a lot worse than this. And of course, it has that fantastic cover on there, man, from the Lion's Den. Is really cool. So,
yeah,
that is so cool, because when you first showed it, I was like, wait, I've seen that album before, but actually I haven't seen it. That was a picture in my mother's Bible.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm remembering that from.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different depictions of this scenario, right, from the Bible, but just something about this artist that just nailed it. It's so good.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, that's my first hidden gem. All right, Jason, you want to go again?
Sure. Now, let's see here. This came out in 1990, and this is very interesting. What happens when your lead singer leaves and the band continues on? It's
Van Halen?
Death kiss. It's a death kiss, right? It's a death kiss. Like you can't. How can you pull forward? But the thing is that their last album, I think that came out in 87, 88, was so popular, right, in the indie alternative world, that Warner Brothers was going to just drop the money. Okay. So released in 1990 without their lead singer, it's Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, this has like some very this. I think this is the most psychedelic they're ever going to get. And if I move this, if you can see the girl, can you see her silhouette?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, okay.
And she's sort of looking up.
Yeah.
Know? But I mean, this is fantastic psychedelic music. There's nothing like this. And you can still get it for cheap. Like, it's been laughed off by the Echo and the Bunnymen fanboys, but this is great. This is
I've never
awesome.
seen that.
And it's produced by the famous Beatles engineer, Jeff Emmerich. So you can't imagine like the Beatles engineer would just like produce any schlo,
Yeah.
Some bum, no way he's going to produce Echo and the Bunnymen, so.
When did that one come out, Jason?
1990.
Okay. So yeah, right. Kind of at the end of their sort of their height, seemed like in the 80s that,
Yep. So, I mean, they broke up after this and then eventually, reunited with Ian McCulloch, who was the singer, but I say stream this. It'll blow your mind. Really.
I've never even seen that album. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Very
I love
cool.
that.
Let's
That's
keep it
cool too.
going.
I love that double image on there too.
Nice.
All right, looks like Chance is out of the room momentarily. You got something else, Jose?
Yeah. I'll show a hidden gem that it's not expensive to get, and it's like the first time it ever came out on vinyl. So I think that's maybe easy if anybody wants to get it. It's not like an expensive thing you have to pay like a lot. This is Cradle. I don't know if anybody picked this up. It was a record store day release of, I'm gonna say that 2019, 2020, maybe something like that. But basically, this is Black Sabbath. It was fronted by only women. It's a very
Oh, really?
hard rock band. It's a double record. It's from '69, which is even more interesting. But this was really cheap, and it's very well produced and everything. It was just all the recordings they had from the band. A lot of stuff is like, some stuff is live, some stuff is like from the studio and all that. But it's an incredible record, and again, it's like Susi Quattro, but like Black Sabbath-ish. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's a hidden gem because I've never seen anybody mention it. And it's not an expensive record. Again, it was mass produced for Record Store Day, but I think almost no one picked it up. And this was my pick for the year that I really wanted. And sometimes it happens, but it's still time. And again, it's not expensive, and it came like on nice sleeves. It was like a color vinyl and everything. Right? So
it's not a reissue then? It's actually just a kind of a compilation?
No, it's like the first time this has ever been like properly issued.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying like it's a hidden gem, because it was like even hidden from anybody up till that point. So if Black Sabbath, female Black Sabbath sounds something you might be interested in, but it has like a very growling sound to the voice. It's not high pitched. It's like very like Janis Joplin-ish. This might be yours for you. I don't know.
That's cool.
When were they around? In the 70s, early 70s?
69.
69.
Yeah. So, like Stooges era. So, Black Sabbath a year later. So again, it's interesting because it's like dark type of music that was a little bit like Coven, stuff like that, a little more on the satanic side.
Where are they from? Are they from America? Or are they from?
No, I think they were from England. I'm pretty sure they were from England.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did Black Sabbath's first? You're saying that came out a year before Black Sabbath's first record?
No, it was like they were playing shows and being live, but they never released any record.
Oh, right. They were playing, yeah.
Yeah. So
recording.
Yeah. Nice.
But again, it's very nice, and it has like cool like photos from like when they were playing and shows. So they were like becoming big, but they just split up, and nothing came out of it. But again, it's nice. I like it. But yeah, it's a 40. I don't know what the dumb thing is. Like it's cut at 45 RPM, and they just had like 3 songs per side. Like 9 minutes of music per side, something like that. But
was that their whole production? Do you know? I mean,
yeah. That's that's why probably they didn't want to have like a 3-sided release, which I guess most of us hate.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm gonna definitely keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, you're up.
All right. Well, another one I'll throw out there. Well, we'll just kind of jump right into it. I'll just say the one and only Ladysmith Black Mambazo. And this is their album Shaka Zulu, which they have a number of albums they put out over the years. This one came out back in 1987. And I'm sure a lot of people probably don't know them by name, but if you go back to Paul Simon's Graceland, all of those backing vocals that you heard, all those African backing vocals, that was Ladysmith Black Mambazo that did all that stuff on Graceland with him. So, Call Me Out, Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes, all of that was them. But often by themselves, they are just I shouldn't say just, they're an a cappella group. Depending on at what time you catch them, how many in the group, but maybe anywhere from 8 to 10 of them. I think there were 10 of them in the group at this point in time. they just acapella everything. I actually saw them in concert one time, and it's one of the most absolute entertaining things that you'll ever see. And I have a pretty strong connection with a lot of, I guess you could say, African music in general, just because my dad was actually first generation here in the States. So I had still do have a very strong connection with kind of the southern part of Africa. Malawi is where he was originally from. So still have family there, and we do a lot of, kind of charity stuff there and everything. So there were a lot of things that were really kind of, brought into my world based off of that. And this was one of the groups that he absolutely loved to death. So it was kind of awesome getting the chance before he passed away to take him to see them. And yeah, like I said, they're standing up there with kind of 9 microphones. There's no instruments of any kind. The entire show is just a cappella and dancing. And again, maybe for those that have, I guess, around my age or whatever, do you remember when Lifesavers had that commercial they would run all the time, and they did that rain, 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 beautiful rain? Does that ring a bell to anyone?
If I heard it, I probably know.
Yeah. Well, they did some work on a few of the Lifesavers commercials, is where a lot of people kind of initially heard their voice. But yeah, really, really great album. And this is one where you really kind of, again, you sit back and just take in just kind of the emotions of like, as well as the Eagles do their harmonizing, just taking out the music and just listening to the beauty of voices melding together.
That's cool.
It's a fantastic album. I think this is their best.
Spectrum as Chimon wants to know, does that have The Moon is Walking on it? And then also mentioned that MJ used it on the end of the Moonwalker film.
This one doesn't have it on there. I'm trying to think. So I actually pulled out. They have a ton of different albums. I don't remember exactly which album that's on, but I don't think it's on. It's not on this one. Yeah, it's not on this one. So, but yeah, really, really awesome stuff. Though, highly recommend checking them out.
That's awesome, dude. Hey, Chance, you got another one?
Oh, sorry. So I was at war with Walmart.com because I ordered not the hashtag bless, but I'm a Walmart Plus member, and I like to have my groceries delivered from time to time because I hate,
Walmart Plus.
I never heard of that before. Are you making this?
Yeah.
What is that? What is it?
So think it's their attempt to be like Amazon Prime, essentially what it was. And around the holidays, they ran a promotion for like $50 for the whole year. And they threw in a full year Paramount Plus. So I'm like, okay, cost benefit analysis, why not? So I've had the groceries delivered a couple times. They're supposed to deliver right before this. And according to my email, a lovely person named Wylette J dropped off these groceries. And that didn't happen. That's why I went to my front door and they weren't there. And the delivery photo is this nice woman. She took a picture of the sticker on her pajama pants leg and considered that delivery. So anyway, having a fun one. So what sorry, what
round are we yelling her name? Wylette, where are you?
Yeah, Wylette J, who thought that showing a picture and because usually you get something delivered like DoorDash or whatever, they show you a picture of like whatever by your front door. No, this is this. I'm assuming it's a woman. It's a female name. It's a pajama pants leg with that's the pick ticket for my order. There's my name right on there. So
at least you got the pajama leg. That's at least 2 stars right there.
Yeah. Well, Wylette got a 1 star, and of course I'm like, we can give you a refund. Thank you. How about my groceries? Are those going to come back tonight? Oh no, we can't do that. I'm like, So
ouch.
I had to be nasty. So sorry. Side note. So are we still on hidden gems? What category?
Basically, fuck Walmart Plus is what you're saying, huh?
Well, Walmart Plus fucked me, Jose. It's a I call that the Carney Arnie Zanzibar is what they call that in certain areas. But so anyway, what category are we on? Sorry, guys.
Walmart Plus is not a sponsor.
Walmart Plus. You didn't get that. Walmart
hidden
Plus
gem.
Plus.
It's like BG Plus. I needed the extra plus. I should have paid the extra $50 to get
Walmart. Excellent.
Yeah, 1 plus is Wylette J in her pajama pants leg. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame. Like, I gotta. I mean, thank you. I hope she enjoys my groceries. My Taco Bell hot sauce in the bottle, and my Raul Alfredo sauce, and my Mr. Pibbs. Hope you enjoy my Mr. Pibbs.
What even is that? I mean,
you don't know what a Mr. Pibb is? You know,
no,
it's like Coca-Cola's version of Dr. Pepper, basically.
All right, that's horrible sound.
I'm learning about Jose.
I was gonna say, don't tell him. Look at Sam from DCLT.
Jose's like, you dodged the bullet, man.
Yeah. So are we still on hidden gems or what?
Yeah, hidden gems.
All right, let's see what we got. Hidden gem, beep bop, boop bop. Well, here, this is a fun one, and I could use it for multiple categories, and it's not really like hidden, but this is 96. All right, so this is Tupac. Terrible glare, sorry, because it's still in shrink, and I've got my wonderful vinyl storage sleeve. Death Row, if you know, you know. But this is basically I had this back in the day as the CD, and it was like an EP kind of, if you want to look at that, because this was originally on All Eyes on Me, which was a double LP, right? Which you can get, but it's hidden. Here's why it's a hidden gem for a couple reasons. One, you get the long version of California Love, like the one that most people know, because on the early versions of All Eyes on Me, it was like a weird version. I don't know if you guys ever encountered that back in the day. So this comes with, really, my opinion, the best songs on the album. So rather than pay, let's call it 40 plus for a double LP, all you need is to find, if you're a hunter and you want to collect this 4-song situation, you get California Love, you get Two of America's Most Wanted with Snoop Dogg, and then you get Hit 'Em Up, which is the Biggie diss track, which back then, like it was very, very, because they had like the hip hop. That's how they settle things by shooting each other and killing each other. But before they went to that extreme of killing each other, they kill each other on the mic and on the verse and in songs, right? So
they wouldn't kill each other with kindness, you're saying?
No, there was no. Yeah, first they tried music, and then if that didn't work, they literally tried to kill each other. Which, depending on who you ask, they success winners. So anyway, I had been looking for this one for a long time because the vinyl is not easy to track down. Again, 1996, but found one in the last couple months. And this is another thing maybe we'll get into. Brandon can appreciate this. It's those hype stickers, which also give it a little extra patina, which I like. So you got the Death Row logo and all that kind of stuff. So nice. hidden gem in the sense of not easy to find, and or I don't need the full. I hate to say it, I don't need the full album. All Eyes on Me. I just need this because this is literally the best songs on the whole album are on this, and it's a delight. Plus, better cover. I mean, the other ones like Pac to the side and stuff. So anyway, so hidden gem in the sense. Like I don't even know. I think it's probably like an original is probably because you want the original that doesn't have the digital remastered bar. Like Death Row did that stuff, and it's weak. I mean, because there's even on the Chronic, even on Doggy Style, that look at try to avoid that black bar that says digitally remastered. You don't want that. But anyway, so hidden gem for a couple of reasons, even though it's Tupac.
So you got that from Walmart Plus.
That was actually my first order at Walmart Plus. It was a third party, and it was Mama Shakur. She was actually branching out and licensing things. So
all right,
that's cool. You're coming with fire tonight, Chance, man. That's cool.
I'm on fire right now. Walmart Plus. I'm complaining about the Walmart Plus.
No hot sauce though.
Yeah. What am I supposed to eat my tacos this week? Why let Jay if I don't have my Taco Bell sauce in the little bottle? I mean, listen, I sound like really terribly privileged, but I mean, it's the principle.
Violet Jay doesn't know who she's messing with, man.
She doesn't know I'm an aspiring YouTube nobody, and I'm gonna track her down like I've tracked down some of these internet trolls just by this pajama pant leg. I've got you right in my scopes. Violet Jay.
You're going to be in line at a Walmart one day and see those pants, man. I shudder to think what's going to happen.
I mean, I could go on another 10 minutes about the pajama pants people in public. I don't know what you guys think about this, but these fools that walk around. Jose, is that you? Are you a pajama pants person?
Well, I take the dogs out. I don't know if that's normal, but I take the dogs out.
That's what the pajama pants are for. You got to take the dogs out. The neighbor's house is on fire. I mean, some people sleep in them. If you're just out in a certain area,
you don't sleep with your pajamas on.
No, I'm not. Well, listen, Jose, you don't want to know when I sleep, but you've seen where I sleep. Yeah, but no, I mean, like the people who literally will go to like a wedding or they'll go to a nice restaurant and they're wearing a pajama pants. Like these people exist. Crazy.
Get on the
now, I get it. You're a delivery driver.
I've never heard.
Yeah, Brandon, you're right, dude. I always thought it was so funny because I didn't really fly for most of my youth, and then when I started flying, I always thought like people dress up in suits, and I thought like, oh, it's flying, like, you know, and then these people getting on there with like, you know, their golf shoes and like, you know, bikinis.
Jason, you're on. Listen, this could be a Hall of Fame rant because you've got two types. You're talking about flyers. You've got sky pigging. You know what sky pigging is?
No,
it's the people. It's the people who bring the food on the plane.
Okay,
like, I know they got food at the airports, but whoever thought it's a good idea to then bring, like, especially the people who bring in like Indian food or like cultured food or like this terribly smelling food. Charged. Yeah, they just bring it right. It's a small cabin, so it's a small space, and they're just sky pigging their grass off, right? And then it's also the people. It's also the people who take the shoes off, like the pajama pants people, and they put their dirty feet, dirty bare feet, like me, and they'll put it on the armrests. They'll put it on the seat next to them. I mean, what savages? Yeah. These are modern day savages.
Can you imagine those concert buddies on the plane? Someone's like, "Hey,
I totally agree
can I have
with
some
you,
of
man.
that Dr. Pibb and that Taco Bell sauce?"
Is that your fucking Taco Bell sauce? Yeah, all right. Chance has literally seen me bring my own buns to In-N-Out Burger. So
I did.
What? Oh, they're gluten free, right, Jose?
Gluten free, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I feel you there.
You know, you got to do what you got to do.
I totally agree with you, Chance. Oh my gosh, that drives me crazy too. I totally agree with you.
I mean, the sky pigging, I mean, that's what they do. And BK is right. But I am out of Missouri. I'm at the airport. I'm at different airports. I've been in different planes. I've been all across the country. And it's everywhere. The sky pigging is prevalent. The pajama pants people are prevalent. The people who
pajama people, as Frank Zappa calls them, right?
Well,
Jose knows.
So I'm gonna get off this topic on this. You ever seen anybody cut their toenails on the plane? No, I've seen it.
Oh,
they bring their toenail clippers and they're clipping their toes.
Hey,
I mean, Brandon, what you seen?
One time I made a mistake. One time I made the mistake of booking a flight on Spirit Airlines. One time. It will never happen again.
All I need to say.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, what's up, Arnaldo?
I mean,
oh my god.
Hey, what's up, Arnaldo? The whole clipping your toenails thing, man, that's a lethal weapon, dude. You know, that goes
I
in
don't know how they got
eye.
through security, and then they're literally on the plane, they're sky pigging, they're probably wearing pajama pants, and here they pull out those big old razor toenails, clipping their damn toenails on the airplane. Are you kidding me? What? I mean, this is why other countries hate us, because this stuff happens here. USA.
I've never heard that.
Oh, dude.
What did I miss?
Yeah, you came in just the right time, Arnaldo.
You came in just right.
What happened? Who's clipping their toenails on an airplane?
Toenails, Pibbs, Walmart.
Chance didn't get his Walmart Plus tonight, so he's feeling a little grumpy.
Somebody ate Chance's
seen,
Taco Bell.
all you need to do is come to New York and ride the subway, and you will see it all.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Hang on. So this is a good test. I was just talking about atrocities in the airlines. So Arnaldo, have you? I know the answer to this. Have you seen people wearing pajama pants on the subway? I'll start with the easy one. Yes.
Well, of course. Well, here people go to the mall in the lounge pants. I'm like, what the hell?
Savages. So then the second one I was talking about is when you go on the air. I'm sure they do this on the subway too. They're having a full gourmet meal situation.
Oh, of course. Oh, well. Well, that's actually civilized when they're eating out of a tray, right? Or they're eating from the McDonald's bags and pulling out the fries, right?
Sure.
And they smell so good that you want to forgive everyone for doing that. But when you find someone who is eating peanuts and throwing the shells on the subway floor, or peeling the orange or the tangerine and throwing all the peels on the floor, that really says it all. And the people that drink coffee in the morning, and when they're done with their cup, they just leave it on the floor there, or they'll just, as they're reading their phone, they put it on the floor in between their legs, right? And then somehow it gets tipped over. There's a coffee spill all over the subway car. I could go on and on and on. There is actually an Instagram site that I invite you guys to follow. It's called Subway Creatures.
Subway Creatures.
Yes,
I'm on.
Subway Creatures, and you will see stuff that you never thought would happen. You know, people bringing couches, 2 guys bringing couches into a subway car. A couch, like a 3-seater. I'm not talking about, your little foldable couch. It's like a 3-seater couch, trying to bring it into the subway car.
That's amazing.
Well,
Arnaldo, I have.
Go ahead, Jose. Sorry.
I have given rats in New York City Cheetos.
Pizza rat.
Yeah. No. I've seen rats, and I'm like, hey, rats, and I give them like Cheetos. They love it,
Well,
I don't know if that's good or not.
You've never seen on the front page of the New York Post the pizza rat?
Yeah. It's like going.
Yeah, he's got a piece of pizza in his mouth, and he's like either going up the stairs or leaving the subway car.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So Arnaldo, I'm gonna ask you this one: have you ever seen somebody clipping their toenails on the subway?
Yes.
See? Yeah, I do it.
Oh, that's like that. I mean,
that's basic courtesy.
Eyebrows, girls with makeup mirror, doing their eyebrows or clipping their nails.
I will say that I have like sleeping abnormalities. I don't know what they are, but I fall asleep on stuff. And on the subway, I always do it, and it's always a lady.
You should never fall asleep.
I know. One time I was like, I fall asleep going to Brooklyn, and when I opened my eyes, I was like on my way to Jamaica, New York, and I was like, and the cop was like, "Are you supposed to be here?" Because I was with my laptop and everything on the thing, and that was amazing. Oh yeah, that's a pizza rat. Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Rat with some pizza.
I
honestly don't see the problem with the couch. I can think of 2 great scenarios. One, you just want to be cozy and comfortable.
Hey,
and 2, if you got to move from one block to another, I mean, what is it? $1.50? Throw that sucker on a couch, boom, unload it, and up your next apartment.
So Arnaldo, I'm going to trade you Subway Creatures for the one that inspired a lot of what I'm talking about, and that's passenger shaming. And that one is so bad.
This is the worst.
Oh, hang on, that's a video. But here's a guy with an open wound on an airplane, and he's leaking. His wound is leaking.
Ew.
Trigger alert.
Sorry, not trying to, I see Frederick is talking about what's going on in Belgium. Like he's seen many of these traveling. Let's call them #traveling atrocities because they're too prevalent. I mean, we need to have a whole show just.
We got to get back to something positive.
I know. Hey, we went from hidden gems to
how horrible life is.
Open wounds.
Well, hey, Arnaldo, you're a little bit behind. You want to jump in with a hidden gem?
Okay, I didn't even do my homework because I didn't know if I could join. So remind me about the hidden gems.
So just something that you feel like the community needs to know about, something maybe is not as, out there. Maybe it's not as available. People just don't know about it. Something like that.
I got to think about it.
Okay. I don't think I did my second one. I'll do that real quick. Staying on the 80s theme, Killing Joke. This is the one that has 80s on it, which everyone knows 80s because one of Chance's favorite bands, Nirvana, stole the tune from these guys and then didn't give credit to do one of their songs. But 80s, that's the big one. But this has a song on here called Love Like Blood, which it's one of those songs, man. As soon as I play it, I have to hear it 20 times in a row. I just love it. But this is a little bit of that gothic pop kind of 80s rock sort of deal. Whereas the sound I feel like is a little more, you're really listening for the music more. This is really stuff you can sing to also, a little more poppy. But this is one of those records that I just kind of slept on for a long time. I always knew about 80s, but this record's called Nighttime, and it's really good, man. It's like wall to wall bangers. I mean, enough so that Kurt Cobain thought, hey, why don't I steal that and make a hit out of it? So,
well, which song did he steal, and what song is it?
So the song's called 80s. It's the one that goes. What song is that, Chance? Come as you are.
Come as you are.
Yeah.
I mean, this is some sacrilege, so I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna participate in saying that they ripped off Killing Joke. I mean, come on.
Is that Al Pacino on the cover?
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, is that the movie Constantine? Because I think that Jose is right. That looks like Al Pacino in Constantine. If that's what
It does.
I don't know. So you're saying they ripped off Al Pacino before they got ripped off by Nirvana?
No, I've never heard that before.
Well, and then the story is that then they went to Nirvana, but they were a much smaller band because Nirvana blew up so fast and had money and lawyers before any, Killing Joke, who wasn't that big. They're like, hey, Kurt, you know how you used our song to make that? Do you think we could get some credit or do something? And it's like, go away, kid, kind of a thing. So at least that's the story I heard.
He did die like a few years after, so maybe Killing Joke.
I mean, I didn't want to bring it up, but
but isn't there, because there used to be a band in the 70s called Nirvana, and then they also like Sue and Nirvana went big, and they worked that one out because obviously they had precedent of being an early band with the name. I'm curious what that band was like. Oh shit! Look, Jose.
There he is.
Human jukebox, Jose.
Human jukebox.
You mean this band?
Oh, okay. See there, you're just showing off now.
You mean this band?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, all right.
Well, and then someone comes at Killing Joke. I think actually now the story gets more complicated. That's cool. Where they're like, well,
they even stole the font there. Go pull that last one up.
Which one? This one?
No, the previous one that you showed.
Oh, you're right. That black one you showed.
The black one. That looks like they used that font somewhere.
Yeah, they used it. Yeah, they used it. Well, that was a very popular font.
Come on, dude.
Now he's pulling records by font. I mean, this is vinyl sorcery if I've ever seen it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be another stream, man. Your favorite records by font.
Yeah, but no, but
they
did ask permission to get the name, and then this Nirvana recorded, I think it was Lithium, in the last CD they ever did, so they knew about it and they purchased the name. It was not they did, and this is a good one. There's a box set that I have, and it has like all the records. All of them are analog except the one that I love the most. So that's pretty fucking sad. But it was this one. Oh, very pretty.
Here you go, Chance. You can expand your Nirvana collection now.
Yeah.
Listen, I got that. Well, no, I don't have all the OGs. I need to get the Night on the Wichita or whatever. That's the only one I think I need to round out the real Nirvana. Come on, let's be honest. that was warm up Nirvana. Let's be honest.
No, it's a really good band. Actually, this one was released on Vertigo.
Oh, okay.
So and this is pretty cool. It's a poppy band, but it's very psychedelic and a bunch of bands. It's not Nirvana, but it's Nirvana. You know?
Jose pulling out hidden gems that weren't even on the list.
Yeah. And fonts. I remember fonts. All right.
Well, I don't want to skip over you, Arnaldo. You got one, you think, or you want to move on?
I need to step away for a second.
Okay. All right. We'll go. We'll keep going. We'll get back to you. All right. Who has the next? You want to go again, Jose? You're always ready.
That's like asking, do you breathe air to Jose? Of course he does.
No, but I don't know which one to get. I haven't maybe a random poll. Well, I'll go with a very overrated, well, not overrated band, but properly rated band that doesn't get as much love. If I can find it. No, just skip me. I don't know where that is.
Oh man, this is a first.
Yeah.
You got another one, Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, I found that already, but I'll do it quick. This is the record I saw Wilco with about like a long time ago, more than 12 years ago, and I think it's pretty cool. But I don't think a lot of people in the Wilco fandom listen to it. I just got this because I have the CD, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get the LP, and it's a really good record. It's a very long song in side 4, but I never see this one particularly shown at all. But it's a really good one.
That's cool. All right, Jason.
You going next?
Sure, I can go. Caesar and I have been talking about this record lately. I actually bought the 2020 reissue, but the record came out in 1992. And it's, if you like The Cure, and you like some like light shoegaze in a way, now I would recommend this Soda Stereo.
You just made Caesar's
Dynamite.
night. This is like Caesar's favorite right here.
This, yeah, it is one of Caesar's favorite records, and so it is mine too. It's just fantastic. Again, very Cure, very like shoegazy, very alternative rock. I believe this was not a popular record in Argentina. Like Caesar can tell me.
That is the most famous band in Spanish, like in the language.
There you go.
Like in Spanish language. Like if you go to a beggar in the street and he's dying of leprosy, and you ask him, "Hey man, just give me one song," they'll give you the música ligera. But yeah, they have a great.
Like, do you want Taco Bell sauce? He's like, no, senor. Soda Stereo. It's fantastic. Again, if you like that shoegaze, this is, and this, I think the reissue is affordable. Maybe under 30, maybe around 30.
Yeah, it's Sony Music.
Yep.
Yeah, they have an unplugged, pretty good. Which the first time on vinyl, because there was like a bootleg for like 1,000 years. But that one specifically, it's the one that I would say it's most underrated. Like I would say like 9 from every 10 people would not choose that record, but that is a pretty good record. It has Picnic on it, I think. Yeah, it's pretty good. This is the most popular one. But yeah, it is straight up nice pop that everybody should listen to at least once.
So Jason,
Where are
how
they
many?
from, Jason?
Argentina.
Oh, okay.
So Rojas, how many texts do you think Cesar sent you and me when we were in Austin last time at the record fair about that record or about like that band? I mean, is it over under 10? I think he sent me about 8. So
Well, I had to blow it up too, right? Like I had to show like the original, and then I was like, hey, I compared this. I think the reissue, sounds better. And then Caesar was like, hell no, what are you talking about? You're not a real Soda Stereo fan. I was like, oh man, jeez.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a really great band. Again, I mean, it is a very underrated in the U.S. I think not a lot of people know about it, but here in Latin America,
don't be like this fool who's going to spend a lot of money on an OG, right? Don't be this guy. Right?
Well, the thing with Argentinian press records in general, it's like the shipping is so dumbly expensive.
yeah.
Like every record that I bought, like all these records here are Argentinian rock, and they're all like $60 plus shipping. So yes, that's So getting an original one might be even cheaper, basically. Like
has Neon Records, Jason, thought about expanding to Argentina? I'm sensing a business opportunity. If you
I'll have to bring it up. Let me take a note. Argentina. All right.
yeah.
That's cool, man. I'm taking lots of notes tonight. You guys are bringing up some good stuff. I'd never heard of that, but I love The Cure, so.
Yeah, you're gonna love that record. It opens up like all this like, swirling guitars. You're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then like the drums, the pounding bass. You're like, whoa, the hell? This is fantastic. Who are these guys? And then you're in the Soda Stereo rabbit hole. Like you're gonna go down there. You're gonna wonder, are they good live? And then you'll pull up like their live clip and you're like, holy crap, they're way too good live. What the hell is going on here?
Really?
This is
Okay.
messed up.
Next thing I'll be on eBay bidding $200 on a freaking record. And,
Well, you'll be bidding against Caesar because he's buying all of them.
yeah. All right. Who wants to go next? You ready, Arnaldo? You want to jump in here?
You ready for my hidden gems?
Let's get it.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll start off with this.
Oh, get that.
Oh, guy, I knew it.
Joke. That was a joke.
Give this guy the hug. Come on.
That was a joke. Okay. Getting serious. Prefab Sprout,
Oh, yeah.
band from the 80s.
Yep.
This is their, I don't want to call it masterpiece because they also did a few more after this that were actually very good. They're excellent. Pop, quirky. Let's call it quirky kind of pop. Very, I don't want to call it like Broadway, but there's hints of something like all these vignettes that he writes about. So it's mostly him, Patty McAloon. He writes all the lyrics, and that's his brother, that's his girlfriend, and that's the drummer. In the United States, this album had to be retitled because the family of Steve McQueen objected, and it's called Two Wheels Round. And this is like a pop masterpiece. There's this one song on here that was reissued, I think, twice or three times by them because they so desperately wanted this to be a hit. It's called When Love Breaks Down. It's probably one of my favorite songs of theirs. Yeah, this is definitely worth checking out. And
the one song I've heard from them is The King of Rock and Roll, right? Is that them?
Oh, yeah, that's on From Langley Park to Memphis. That's another great album. Yeah, that had like the Elvis impersonator. He's by the pool and he's like acting like the king of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Then, okay. This was the subject of my very first video, an album that I will never stop talking about by the Blue Nile. It's called Hats. I think everyone should own this record. It is, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's hard to describe. It's,
Where would you find it at the record store? What area?
well, definitely it'd be in the pop section, but you may know one of the songs, the Downtown Lights, because Annie Lennox covered it on her album Medusa.
Mm.
And I believe someone else covered it too. Their music has been used as like for background music on like TV shows, on a few TV shows. I think on 6 Feet Under, there were a couple of their tracks, but the name of the band is the Blue Nile. They're a three-piece. They use a lot of drum machines, mostly all drum machines, and it's very keyboard. And I think the only like analog instrument on here probably is, oh yeah, there's piano and there's bass as well, but I don't want to call them a synth group and I want to call them a pop group. So does anyone know about them? The Blue
No,
Nile?
I've never heard of them.
No.
I just wrote it
I
down.
do.
Okay, Jason, can you help me here with some description of their music?
I would say it's like, it's very synth in a way, like the first record, but
Yeah, the first more than the others. Yeah.
like I want to say like this is like a too far-fetched. Like I would say like very adult contemporary but it's more advanced than that. Like I know that he showed the Steely Dan record and like that's like a very, studio record, if you know what I'm saying. Like, but
Yeah.
that Blue Nile records, like they're not highly, I wouldn't call it like highly polished, but it's like
It is very polished. Yes.
it's
I
like
call it
technically
polished.
amazing, like
Yes.
you hear it and it blows your mind because it's well recorded, great melodies. I would compare it to like a Peter Gabriel record. Like that guy's got a voice that's just like so deep, and
It's curated. Let's call it. It's very curated, very well arranged, very well composed. and great songwriter. Oh, and yes, to your point, they were on Lynn Records. I think Lynn Records only released albums by the Blue Nile because they happened to be in, I think, the studio where Lynn had a whole bunch of equipment, and then they played it for the executives at Lynn, and they decided to release it for them.
Like
Arnaldo,
Roger Lynn is famous for making the Lynn drum
Yeah,
machine.
the drum machine. Exactly.
That Prince used,
Mhm.
Okay. And
Hey,
then he
I
developed.
think Arnaldo, you said this would be found in the pop side. This, based on what I'm seeing on Discogs, I looked it up. This would be a wall record. I mean, the cheapest one I can find is like $70.
Yeah, because they were recently repressed. This is an original.
Right. Well, I'm saying original is like $70 record.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I have the last one that I could pick was, now I showed a Steely Dan record before because these guys remind me a little bit of Steely Dan. They're called Danny Wilson.
Oh yeah.
And they had a minor hit actually also on MTV from a song from their, this is their first album. It was called Mary's Prayer. And they're Scottish, just like the Blue Nile. And I would call them sophisticated pop in a British kind of way. Yeah, this is another hidden gem that I think. And I've seen this in $3 bins in here everywhere. So if you ever come across it, probably you'll see it with a notch with a cutout. It's worth picking up or sample it.
What's the band name again?
Danny Wilson.
Danny Wilson, got it.
The guy's voice actually is very reminiscent of Donald Fagen, but with a lot more character and probably technically a lot more talented than Donald Fagen, because Donald Fagen has a bit of a limited range. He doesn't.
That's sacrilege. We're going to get the stream shut down for attacking Donald Fagen. Come on. The olds are going to come after us now. Way to go.
The olds.
The olds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Spectrum Archives comment. They weren't as poppy as Talk. Blue Nile, they weren't as poppy. They were a lot less cheerful, probably, than Talk.
Sounds like one of those bands you just have to listen to get it.
Well, exactly. And especially this album, if you listen to it at night, it takes on a whole new beauty.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
I'm definitely going to look out for that. Yep.
Cool.
Well, we've been on this topic a while. I think we all went around a few times. You guys want to jump into guilty pleasures? You guys have any guilty pleasures?
Oh, we have to define first what is a guilty pleasure, because that was a whole separate stream about what's a guilty pleasure. No, that's not a guilty. Britney Spears is not a guilty pleasure, apparently.
That's true. We talked about that one loosely.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, what are we defining as a guilty?
Well, I don't know. I just, whatever your
something
definition.
that you would be embarrassed to say that is in your record collection.
Yeah, this is the one you're not out there, making videos about. This is the one you turn out the lights. Probably the significant other's not down with it or whatever. That kind of thing.
I have one.
Here's one that might be actually a good way to define why I label this as a guilty pleasure, because I went to the store one day and I had 2 records I decided to get. And one was a Motorhead album. And I got the Motorhead. I handed the albums to the guy. He takes it and rings it. And then I hand him this album and he goes, "Didn't see that coming." We both kind of had a chuckle or whatever. But it was
there we go.
A Day Without Rain. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how much taller I get, how much baller I get, how much darker I get. I will forever claim this album to the utmost. And I've caught a lot of flack in my life for being
what songs are in that one?
Oh man, I love everything about this album. If I ever turned into someone who wanted to wake up in the morning and and run through the fields with the dew on my feet and all that kind of crap. Like this is the theme album that's going to take me through that entire experience.
Are there any white porcelain bathtubs in this field, Brandon, like a certain ED medication?
Oh, most definitely. And according to those commercials, life doesn't get good until you catch a disease. And then all of a sudden, you got the baddest partner. You got money to travel all over the world. You're smiling 24/7. I'm like, I need to go find something. But yeah, I mean, this album is just. I mean, I love Enya in general, but this is definitely my absolute favorite album by her. And it just goes back to that emotional thing that she brings to the table. Of course, the huge hit off of this was Only Time, which is the one that everyone's heard a gazillion times.
Is that the one, the commercial?
Yes,
hear that in a commercial.
Yes, very much so. But it's, I don't know, it's just something, and maybe it's the fact that I like all like the Vikings, Valhalla, and like all those movies and shows about. It's just stuff in that time period, and this is almost like what pop music would sound like if you were making pop music for Vikings and that type of thing. and as weird as it sounds,
I need it in my life.
I mean, if I had a chance to see five, I've said this on some Thread videos before. If I could pick 5 artists that I could see live, and I had my choice of any, Enya would be one of them. She absolutely would be one of them.
Oh, that's a perfect way to explain it. It's like one of those records where that's happened to me in record stores multiple times, where there'll be, especially a crowded record store, where you're sort of like, I don't really want to look at this band. I'll come back for it later when no one's around, kind of a thing. I don't want someone to catch me looking at the Enya. That's funny, man. All right, it's all teed up. Who's next?
We can't go downhill from there.
Since Brandon's here, I know Brandon. I picked this one specifically with Brandon in mind because this is a shared guilty pleasure, air quotes, and it started actually. It just so happens Brandon's gonna be real jealous because I have the companion film, which good luck finding this. And actually, since Spins is a big Japanese collector, look, I'm hitting all the boxes.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm hitting the boxes.
Oh.
If anyone wants to say that this movie was not as good as the original, I will fight you because.
Can you fight my mom?
Yes.
Fight my mom that hates
listen, Jose. I'd hate to get in a fight with your mom because you'd probably whoop me, but I would have to do it if she says that "Cool Rider" is not the best song in the Grease catalog. Period.
And I got your back.
Cool Rider. Thank you.
I specifically. There you go.
There it is. Hey, we got a hype sticker
with the hype.
There you go.
Wow.
We got the Obi and we got the hype, man. Bam.
I remember specifically watching Grease 1 with my mom, and then I asked her if there was another one, and she said, "We don't have to talk about that one." So that's my mom's review, I guess.
Oh.
Hey, all I know is I forget what record show is, either Chicago or Austin. I think it was Chicago. This was one of those ones that I knew would still be there before I left, and it's one of those ones where I'm like, because and I think I've talked a little bit because Japanese pressings generally aren't my thing. But the fact that, and Brandon, I think I might have floated this to you.
Yeah, you told me. You showed it to me, yeah.
Yeah, so I floated to Brandon first because I know he collects Japanese pressings. And I was like, hey, you need this? He's like, do you have it? I forget.
I don't have a Japanese pressing. I just got that.
But yeah, so this is one that I knew that I could take my time at the record show and it would still be there just because it's that dark of a, like collectible thing. And, So then when I circled back, it was Austin. I know exactly where the table was. It's in the back of the building. And I went back there and they wanted 50 and they didn't get 50. I'll tell you that. They worked with me on this one. And I
50
knew
pesos?
Yeah, 50 pesos. Yeah.
I'm going to go buy that.
How about just 50 pesos?
And I had to
$4?
They wanted to get a picture of me on a burro, and I had to do a lap around the Palmer Event Center on a burro. So totally worth it. Because this is the phenom.com of the Grease soundtracks. Again, Grease 1, timeless, but this is it.
What's more of a guilty pleasure, liking the Grease 2 album or asking $50 for one?
Well, it was a Japanese pressing, in fairness, so they're passing it off as top tier. of that soundtrack. And I don't think Chad Kassem is in a rush to press this as a double 45 RPM. I'm just guessing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But in the event he changes his mind, I have the source material.
So you're saying Grease 2 soundtrack is just as good as seeing some person cut their toenails on the plane? Is that what you're saying?
Oh.
1A and 1B, Jason. 1A and 1B.
Yeah, man, don't start nothing we can't finish up in here. Don't talk about my Grease 2. Hey, who's the guy that played Goose in Grease 2?
Oh, it's a guy Shooter McGavin. Yeah, Christopher. Hang on.
Yeah, whatever freaking name. I can't remember for the life of me. But I was just gonna say, my brother's he's actually an actor out in Hollywood, and a few years ago,
McDonald,
yes, and he did some work with Chris on this show, and he was all excited because he was like, dude, I'm gonna meet Goose from Grease 2, and I'm like, no way, you can. And so he meets him and he's talking to him and he tells him all about, oh, my brothers and I, we love Grease 2. We thought it was so much better than the first Grease. And he's like, I didn't think anybody liked that movie. Like, even he thought it was a complete good.
He's probably used to people coming up and doing like Shooter McGavin stuff, right? And here's one person that remembers him from Grease 2, and he's just like, oh.
Oh man. Yeah, that's why you and I are buds right there, boy.
That's right. Simpatico. Yes, sir.
That's going on my playlist now, man. You guys got me.
Listen, I mean, Jason, you can start many places. You can start with Cool Rider, which is Michelle Pfeiffer's signature song. You can go Gonna Score Tonight, which is a bowling alley song. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it just goes all over the place. And
reproduction, they're talking about the nasty.
Yeah. Very, a lot of sexual entendres. So I mean, it's Adrian Zemed, the Dollar Tree John Travolta, Adrian Zemed. I mean, come on, like forget TJ Hooker. This was pinnacle Adrian Zemed. Forget Bachelor Party. This was pinnacle Adrian Zemed.
I don't know what the fuck.
Jose, I tell you what, if I find another DVD copy of Grease 2, which good luck.
Is that expensive? It's like do you remember I had the DVD for what's that movie? Ben Affleck and
I know which one you're talking about. The religion one.
What's the name of the movie?
It's a
Jay and Silent Bob. No?
What?
Dogma.
Oh, Dogma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hey, listen, during COVID, the Dogma DVD, I would hunt that at the thrift stores, and you could buy that for $2 and sell it for $80. Like it was real money back then.
Yeah, I have that. It's like a double CD box. Can I? I'm gonna show one. I don't have any guilty pleasures. What I like. I don't really care if somebody likes it or not. But the one that I got a bunch of shit on the last time that I showed it, which was a surprise to me because I just think it's a pop record. But I do have a thing for like British pop. So I don't know if anybody here knows it, but pretty sure they do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You like that one? That one's got Sunrise on it, right? Sunrise?
Yes. Home, which is great. Sunrise, which is great. Bob Dylan cover, possibly 4th Street. It's You, and then You Made Me Feel Brand New. That's a great ballad. I mean, again, I don't know why people hate this record. This is just a CD that my dad used to have in his collection. He would play like at Christmas or whatever. And I bought it on vinyl when I saw it, and I don't regret it at all. But I guess people hate it. I don't know why, but so it's just that I'm just not gonna show it as much, but not because I care, but just because I guess I can't strike a conversation with anybody with this.
I love them. If you would have asked,
a bad boy.
Yeah, if you would have asked, we could have listened to Stars. I have Stars.
Oh yeah,
Stars is probably their best album.
Yeah, it's the one with
although I love their debut album.
Yeah.
But the guy's got an amazing voice. He can sing anything.
Right.
But why would people crap on this? It's pretty good. I mean, again, Home and Sunrise, really good songs. Really good songs. The Great Beat. I think that would be like a great sample for like a 2000s hip hop, but I just never did. But yeah, that would be one of my picks. I'll do another one, but later on.
Got it. Nice. You got one, Arnaldo?
Yeah, I have. I pulled a few.
Okay.
The Miami Vice.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I just picked this up a few weeks ago for $2, so can't go wrong with that, right?
Get some Shaka Khan, some.
And
Phil
I
Collins,
got it mostly
Tina
for
Turner.
the Glenn Fry song.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Smuggler's Blues, right?
You,
Is that on
no,
You
but it
Belong
has
to the Night.
You Belong to the Night.
Oh right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that, I think
City,
that's the
right?
only, and it does have Smuggler's Blues, but I think Smuggler's Blues is on another album too, right? Isn't it? But the You Belong to the Night is only on here. And then, I mean, how could I pass up another opportunity to own In the Air Tonight?
And not do it.
Is that the movie or the TV series?
What's that?
Is that the movie or the TV series?
TV series. They
No,
didn't
the
do.
TV series. Yeah.
What's the movie? There's a Michael Mann.
Yeah,
movie.
the Michael Mann movie. We don't talk about that. That's with what?
That's
what
pretty good. That's
I
Colin,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Can I show two others?
Yep.
pretty good. It was darker. Darker.
When I first, this is my second copy. My first copy, my brother ended up having it. So I bought this album twice, so I can't be too ashamed to have it. And the first time I bought it, I was in love with it. 40 years later, I could see why some people, snark at it. And it's Christopher Cross's debut album. So
does that have the Michael McDonald song on it?
it does.
Yes.
It does. And guess what? My last pick is
Oh man.
Yes.
this is a great album,
The
guys.
Silver Fox. Look at that unibrow. God bless this man. God bless.
Guys, this is a great album.
Arnaldo,
And no one should ever say that this is
This is the best $5 or $6 you can find at the record store, because when you find it, it's there for $5 or $6. But this smoke.
I paid $2 for it. So.
Yeah.
Well, he ended up becoming like a meme, right? Because I thought I was supposed to love Michael McDonald and did all of his stuff, and then suddenly it was like a big joke to like him.
And
that was
guess
because
what?
the 40-year-old virgin tried to character
Yeah.
assassinate.
Yeah.
Virgin did that.
Yep.
And guess what? There's another connection to it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
he played-
Wow, look at
It
you.
always comes back to Asia. We can't get rid of it. So yeah, and I met Michael McDonald a few years ago, and he's one of the nicest guys ever. He is so nice.
Have you seen that video of the little girl that's obsessed with Michael McDonald?
Yes, I did. And they, I think he invited her to the show. I think eventually.
He's just like trying not to be creepy. He's like, "Hey, little girl, like, how you doing?" And the girl's like, "Oh, fuck, it's Michael McDonald." It's really good. I love that video. One of my favorite videos.
I may or may not. This is a true story.
That's a really good album.
I may or may not have a Michael McDonald autograph 8x10 that I got at the thrift store in my record room. I mean,
You 100% have it like framed and shit.
oh
Have
yeah.
you
Damn straight, yeah.
And Christopher Cross is a great guitar player.
Yes.
You know,
He was a session player on other records.
But what's that song? Because here in Latin America we call it Pingüino Rodriguez, because that's what
Ride Like the Wind.
No. It just says like
Sailing?
Pingüino Rodriguez. Okay, that's how
Ride Like the Wind.
hear
Yeah, because that's the bridge in Ride Like the Wind. They play that, like the horns and stuff, right?
Here in Spanish, when something sounds like somebody saying something in Spanish, we say that instead of the English lyric. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Well, now it's like hey, you guys are showing are doing your guilty pleasures. Now I'm actually embarrassed to show mine, but let's do it anyway.
Is it the Goonie soundtrack?
No, it's worse. One of my guilty pleasures is like Christmas music, but
I like Christmas music.
I like to double down with a little Jackie Gleason from Honeymooners fame. If you guys ever watched the old show, The Honeymooners.
Jackie was too good to be on the cover. Is that what you're telling us?
To the moon.
That's
Well,
great,
yeah,
Jackie.
something like that. And this is two different LPs. These are a bunch of Christmas music, and this is all like orchestra stuff. But his stuff is so sentimental and sappy. It's all orchestral. It's not like there's lyrics or anything, but there's just something that just pulls at my heartstrings, man. When I hear this stuff.
Sing?
No, he doesn't sing.
Oh, all right.
That's cool.
There you go. Christmas, and Jackie Gleason. So 2 reasons to have a guilty pleasure. So,
but do you
right
listen?
and
to
you know,
that,
hey,
July.
Well, there's 3
Huh?
reasons that they cover.
Do you
I was
listen
gonna say, there you go.
Do you listen to that like in mid-July?
Dude, you think you're joking? When the sun is out and the days are long, I'm on Hallmark watching the movies and putting on some Christmas music because I just have to get straight.
Wow.
I like Christmas music.
That's awesome.
All right. What's
All
the
right.
next? Show it. Now I'm curious. Show me another one.
You want another one?
Yeah. All right.
All right, it gets worse.
Is it the Rush Hour 2 soundtrack?
No soundtracks aren't guilty enough.
All right.
I do love my soundtracks though. But so I got into this thing. I don't know how I did it. I was on YouTube, and suddenly it just came on my playlist, and it was like Musac. Let me blow it up. This is mall music from the 1970s.
Wow.
Wow.
This is that kind of stuff that you hear echoing throughout the halls of a mall, where it's like plucked strings and stuff, and it's all like covers of like Beatles records and stuff. But these are actually a lot of like this is the stuff that was supposed to program your brain to buy crap at the mall. And they still use it in grocery stores, but they use modern music. But or elevator music is probably the best way to say it. And I just got into a thing, man, where I was like, I just was so curious, and it was such a nostalgic thing, but also such a, I don't know, I just kind of went down a rabbit hole. But there's some cool crap on here, man. There's a song on here. If you're going to just listen to one, what is it? If I can even read this, it's called
covers of famous songs.
Yeah. So Kate McShane is one. This is a lot of covers of stuff that probably most people haven't heard of. But then a lot of the stuff was also just popular music, stuff you'd hear in like elevators, like the Beatles, it'd be orchestral arrangements of that stuff. But this is more like 50s kind of, I don't know, 50s kind of orchestral stuff already, just kind of musicified. But anyway, it's nostalgic. Reminds me of those days back in the day when you'd be walking through the mall with your mom, and this music would just be echoing through the mall and stuff. So it's just nostalgic. It's the only way I can justify it. But I had to go buy a bunch of these because they were dirt cheap. And every once in a while, I'll throw this on.
Well, if you go to Europe, at least like for example in Spain, there's a law that you can't play like the actual artist song. So you have to play covers because you haven't paid a license to play those songs in public, and you're like making a profit because you're like bringing in people. So I guess that's even more popular than you would think. Like,
Well, so this music company came up with something called stimulus progression.
Right.
And what it is each side takes you through, it actually is designed in such a way that the beats per minute goes up each song progressively. So track 1 through 5 or whatever, and then you flip the record over and it's the same thing. They did all the scientific stuff that was like, okay, this is what gets people grabbing stuff off the shelves. Mm. In that way, it's kind of sick. But, I don't know, man. It was just I was so curious. The thing is they still do it. It's just now they're doing it with pop songs and Target and stuff, right? But it's still programmed to get you to buy stuff. Right. And the company is still around. They're still the ones that do that.
All right.
Yep.
So they're doing it even though malls are no longer a thing. That's
It's like Target, Walmart, all that stuff, right? Whole Foods.
Jose, are you holding a David Gray record?
Yeah.
Whoa. Wait, hang on.
Are you gonna shame me?
No, White Ladder. Oh, is that the double 45?
I can't get into him. I'm sorry.
Oh
right.
God.
All right,
Arnaldo,
look.
No.
Arnaldo, why? What do you like it?
I don't know. His voice just irritates me.
Wow.
Well,
that breaks my like that, right?
Yeah, another fight.
Oh, he's one of my top guys. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
guy.
me too. Look, I don't know what's your problem with Arnaldo right now. I'm kidding, but this is a great record. He self-produced it, and he won a gazillion dollars.
He got dropped from his label, and he made it in his apartment. And it's his signature. It's his opus. It's his signature album.
No, but for real, like, please forgive me.
That has the soft cell cover on it, right?
What?
It has Say Hello, Wave Goodbye.
Say Hello, Wave. Babylon, which is supposed to say Babble on, but he called it
Yes.
Babylon because he's
That's right.
fake fucking accent. But Silver Lining, This Year's Loving, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye. This is a great record. I know. Look, even looks like a XTC record inside. Right? It's a horrible. By the way, this design is horrible. Who the fuck did this? But this is I was gonna say this is one of not my guilty pleasure because I don't believe in that. But when I see people, when I show this record, people are always like, "Oh, fuck, is that David Gray?" And I will say that he does get a lot of hate because there's
See, it's not just me. You just said it. He gets
Where's
a lot
Rob
of
Walker
hate.
with the poop emoji? I need some backup on this
there
one.
are 2 songs by him that the U.S. Government used to use in Guantanamo Bay to waterboard people, and like when they were
That's how much torture it was.
yeah,
It was
it
torture.
was so, the songs were so
I gotta get off.
That
this
was the last
stream,
thing I
man.
expect you to say, dude. Oh
I
my
gotta get off this
god.
stream.
Yeah, no, but that's for real. Like you can look it up. Like people, they would use this. Like
You have this album, Chance?
Well, so a couple things.
This
So
got expensive, by the way. This is the.
No, it's not. So that album was it first came out on vinyl just a couple years ago for the 20th anniversary. He was going to tour, and I actually saw it. He didn't get to do it till post COVID. It's on white vinyl because of White Ladder. So it first came out like 3 or 4 years ago. He played. He just got done touring. I guess a 3-year delay on the album for the anniversary, right? But he played it. He played a couple songs, and he played the album front to back, right, which is magnificent. But yeah, it's the best version of that, Jose.
Yes,
and is to get the Vinyl Me Please, because Vinyl Me Please refreshed it. They couldn't do the white, like his management wouldn't let him do the white. You know, they did that as like a web store exclusive for White Ladder, but it's silver vinyl or gray vinyl, 2x45, magnificent. Like that is the way. It's a definitive way to listen to that album because it's chef's kiss. But yes, so
Are you gonna run out and snag that, Arnaldo?
About you, I just when I started buying Smith's records, now I'm gonna have to stop because I can't believe they took a shit on David Gray. Come on now.
No. But I know that he gets.
I bought his first CD, the one with the gray cover on it. Remember the first one?
I have this also.
That was a blind buy.
Oh, it's funny you said that. So he's touring. He's doing an anniversary. He's in New York. He came to the States for a couple different. That's the greatest hit.
But this is a great.
That's a good one for anybody like just getting into David Gray because it has all the good songs.
Yeah, but I would say like you know how much people like the Bill Withers best stuff.
Right.
Like, this is a great best stuff in the sense that every single song it is the best stuff. Is then you get some artists that are like greatest hits and they're all like 4 singles and like. No,
that one is straight. The one Arnaldo's thinking of is Century Ends, right? So yes. he's playing. So he's playing a Century.
I bought that. It was a blind buy.
Is it too British for you? The vocal.
I was visiting at the time. I wasn't living in New York. I was visiting, and went down to St. Mark's, which was at the time the best place to shop for CDs, used CDs, and I picked it up in the used bin, even though it was fairly new, like fairly recent. And then when I went home and I listened to it, I was like, I'm not feeling this guy's voice, and I traded it in. I traded it in for something else.
So his early stuff. Oh, that Jose, that's a terrible. That single you're about to show is garbage. That's a Record Store Day 12-inch. That is a. I don't know why they did that. So Century Ends, and then his next album, Sell, Sell, Sell. Not his best stuff. Like he has a couple of really good songs on each of those that you can find on the greatest hits that Jose just flashed there.
Rat Pizza.
But he's doing. He's like a lot of artists now. He's playing some live gigs because he's self-financing his new releases. So he did some shows over in the UK. He came over to New York. I don't know if he's done them yet, but the plan was to come to New York and the East Coast and do some gigs, playing a lot of stuff from A Century Ends. But that is I think they put that out on Hut Records, if I'm not mistaken. But the original, which I have, is like a easy $200 record, $150, $200 record. But they just repressed a little bit just for this tour. And they didn't announce it. It pissed me off because I would have bought a backup copy, and they sold out like that. Like he didn't even send out like the email push notification to his mailing list. Like the word of mouth. They went on the website and they bought them up. But
I
anyway.
mean, I would say, like,
and don't get me wrong, I even have a copy on CD of White Ladder. I tried to give him a second chance, and
no, but it's just Chance. Do you know Josh Ritter?
Josh Ritter, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
but it's the kind of voice, you know. It's like,
sure.
You know,
he's like a, you know, I would call David Gray like the UK version of Glenn Hansard, essentially, like a very similar. Like
even Cesar is done with the David Gray topic.
Oh, Cesar, listen, Soda Stereo. You know how many messages I have to wade through, but when me, Jason, and Cesar's little talk conversation, I have to wade through so much Soda Stereo conversation just to get to the next topic. So you're gonna sit and listen to some David Gray for me.
I mean, it was a guilty pleasure stuff. And again, that's a record that if I'm working around and I put it on and I know the whole lyrics, and you know, it's sort of my Elton John kind of guy, instead of listening to Elton John, because I don't own any Elton John records.
He's a guy. So since Caesar asked us to keep talking about it, he's a guy that White Ladder. I'm so glad they finally put it on vinyl. Because his next couple albums, New Day After Midnight, and then Hospital, Alibi, not on vinyl. Those are like part of my, like, I started doing the series on the channel, which I could probably resume, called Vinyl Me, Please, meaning please put this on vinyl. And like his back catalog, I'm sure it's about the labels and the licensing and all that kind of stuff, but that would be like on my wish list to get his back catalog on vinyl, because I'm a David Gray fan. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll see myself.
The first two have never been pressed on vinyl, right?
No, Century. His first record was a Century End. That is on vinyl. It's a UK only, and it's very hard to find. But Sell, CD only. He had there's a quick comp that he did to get out of his record deal.
Did you like, Jason? Did you like that my guilty pleasure was also a Chances, I guess? It was a combo.
See, what Jose doesn't remember is when we were in Austin, I put headphones over his ears when he slept, and I was piping in White Ladder to him, and so I was working like some kind of like a Pavlovian mind trick, and so that's why he's like a big David Gray fan.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, who's next?
I'll go show one.
All right, let's do it.
I'll just preface this. Like, these guys were huge in 1983 and 84, and they couldn't stop because the singer, he had the greatest falsetto ever, you know? And I'm going to get laughed at, but I don't care. I could have made Nathaniel Mars and Jose suffer, and they probably would have left my place. So I'm going to show Chicago 17, my guilty pleasure. Because Peter Cetera's high voice and then the gruffy singing style of Bill Chaplin, that's the combo.
I don't even know a single song from Chicago.
I agree.
I don't even.
I mean,
totally agree.
If you ever hear, like, you know, you said Michael McDonald was like the emoting singer. No. This record, right? Because you have like the sweet, you know, falsetto guy, and then you have like the gruffy voice guy. Like, whoa, the best of both worlds, you know?
Yeah. Come on, Jose. You know, what is it called? Hard to Say I'm Sorry, right?
No, Hard Habit to Break.
Hard Habit to Break.
I don't know a single song by Chicago. I don't know a single song by that band.
Oh, Hard. That's a great.
It's not possible.
Stay the Night.
You don't know them by name, but you know them for sure.
No, I don't.
I mean, you play "You're the Inspiration." You want to clear the party, like put on "You're the Inspiration." That party's done. People are out. They're like, no, we're done. Can't go there.
That's hilarious.
I've never heard that band like in my life. I know they have a horrible Christmas album that I keep seeing like at my dad's house. Like he has it, but I've stayed away. Like if he's gonna put it, I skip the house completely. So,
even better, I think the music video to "Stay the Night" or "Along Comes a Woman" or "You're the Inspiration," Peter Cetera wears a Bauhaus t-shirt. Like, that's ballsy.
There you go.
What year is that? To have like year like
83, 84?
They had 17 records by 83.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they all look the same. All the covers are the same.
I mean, I like Chicago 16 as well. I was going to show that, but that's somewhere. I don't know where that is, but this is the only one like I have on hand, right? You know,
Jason,
nearby.
you just found it?
No.
That's great.
Quiet X. Is it because the party goes quiet?
No, that was like the audio file back then.
No, I know that.
At least by the time they got to 17, they were putting the track list on the back of the albums, because before that, you had no idea what you were getting with a Chicago album.
I mean, this was so
Chicago.
good that Peter Cetera had to quit and go solo because he was just too good for this.
Is this what forced him to do that Karate Kid song? Is that this album?
Well, I mean, they could have had that song, but he left, and then he, you know, that was like one of his early solo hits.
Fair enough.
Man.
That's a great album, man.
So I
Great
killed this
songwriting.
live stream now,
That's a
right? I
great
killed
album.
it.
We actually have negative viewers. How's that possible? We have negative viewers.
Okay. Who else? Who hasn't gone yet? Who hasn't shown a guilty pleasure yet? You should.
Well, I think I have to show one, but I will do something real quick, Jason. I'll see your Chicago, and I'll up you one Kenny G live.
Ooh.
Oh.
Any Kenny G lovers here?
Is
Any
that the
Kenny G
original
fans?
birthing guy?
This
I just like the album where he's like doing the splits. He's like jumping between buildings. That's my favorite album.
okay, I can go grab that one for you here in a second too. I mean, Kenny G is one of those guys, kind of like Michael McDonald we were talking about before, where it just became very cool to make fun of him and that type of thing. But first of all, like Kenny G is the one that introduced me to jazz. Like I never listened to any jazz record whatsoever until I actually borrowed this from a roommate back in college, and I started listening to it. And one of the reasons why it brings you in is because it's so predictable kind of thing. It's like you'll hear a melody and then you'll go, if the next two notes were this and this, that would just feel so good. And of course he plays those two notes. So you know, it's definitely very much elevated music and stuff like that. But you know, I have a sealed copy of this as well. I have the CD, I have the cassette, I have the Kenny G live DVD, and when you watch him perform live, he's actually an amazing saxophone player. He plays the straight sax, and one of the things that he can do is that circular breathing. You know, that they continue to play the note while they're taking breaths, and so he'll hold a note for like literally 2.5 minutes or something like that, which he does on a couple of songs on this album. But it's just the melodies are so easy to grasp, and it's just a real feel-good album. And yeah, I mean, I love Kenny. I absolutely love him. Like I said, this album is responsible for opening up all things jazz for me.
That's interesting. I bet you that's a lot of people's story. A lot of people our age, I think. Kenny G was kind of the gateway drug.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I was just trying to get through all these. I was just debating between throwing up the Kenny G or throwing up the Michael Bolton Gold.
Oh,
You know, so that was the other one that was competing with Kenny G there for a second.
what a guy lost to time, because you know, after like his stuff, like the early rock stuff, like he did some like ghostwriting on Kiss songs. He did that Blackjack band he had with Bruce Kulick and stuff. I mean, literally, he was like a pop like hero for about 3 or 4 years, and then now he's doing like parquet commercials as kind of like a joke, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
crazy.
Do I have, yeah, I have another one, but I think this one probably doesn't qualify. But I love some Madonna too, especially this record, man.
Why would that be guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I know it's not much of one. That's why I had to show the other one. You have to admit I came correct on the first two, but this is another one, man. I love it. I guess it's more like, yeah, people like this music, but not everyone cries to it. So it's like,
You know, she's playing here in Mexico City like 6 dates, like I think at the end of the month.
oh really?
Like, yeah, they're really expensive. Shit. Really, I mean, I don't know if I would pay for the VIP ones. They're really expensive, like really expensive.
It's like impossible to see a big group now. That I mean, every time I see, it's like I want to see people that are traveling around and stuff, and I don't know how people do it, man. It's like $200-300 a ticket. I mean, what happened to the $20 a ticket days?
What I'll say that is that I know for a fact that if you go to a Madonna show and you're on a VIP section, they let you buy a VIP book that is only sold on the VIP section, and those go for a lot of money, like a lot of money. So I know some people that only go for that just to get those books. But I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. I think she's like extremely popular. It's like saying guilty pleasure Prince.
Madonna's never a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
She's guilty of many things, but she's not a guilty pleasure.
she's guilty of using that eye patch in the last record. That's probably fucked up.
Oh man.
Yeah, that eye patches are never good. Unless pirate movie.
Very few people can throw up.
Hey, listen, we're not gonna. There's no prejudice against the eye patched Americans or Chicanos or Europeans. Jose, come on.
When have you seen a Chicano with an eye patch?
When
have you seen it?
Well, I mean, there's got to be a Danny Trejo movie with him wearing an eye patch. I'll just start there. I'll find that for you. Come on.
Yeah, probably.
A chance. You got name one good eye patch. Come on.
Oh, I mean, Captain Hook. I mean, let's just start with probably Captain Hook.
Okay.
You had what Captain Hook, like the Robbie Williams?
Who's that guy? Dan Crenshaw. I don't know.
Name someone who's not a pirate.
I don't want to get political, but Dan Crenshaw can wear the hell out of his eye patch, and he is a former soldier and current politician.
I'm more of a glass eye.
Eye patch with no strap. That's how bad.
That's right. Yeah, that's gangster. When you got an eye patch and you don't. I mean, that's like a Marvel villain. Like that's why like I will like try to hear what that guy has to say because he wears eye patch with nobody else.
That's good.
Oh yeah, see Adam Hunt's right. So you got Snake from Escape from New York.
There you go. Okay.
Yes, there you go.
Daryl Hannah.
Adam Hunt for the
Kill
W.
Bill.
Oh
Daryl
yeah,
Hannah
Daryl
in
Hannah,
Kill
Kill
Bill.
Bill. Yeah, good call.
All right.
What was her name? Kill
Snake
Bill.
Plissken might be the one though. That's a good one.
That was good.
But Madonna with that eye patch, not doing anything.
Yeah, that didn't fly.
For anybody.
See, now you pique my interest. Like if I go to famous eye patches, like what? Oh, hang on.
I mean, I think we have a winner, dude. Snake Plissken. There you go, man. That was
gotta be top of the. So
Yeah,
Daryl
that's right
Hannah
up
was
there.
called L Driver or L Driver.
Hell Driver.
What's interesting though is if you put famous eye patch in the Google machine, it says Nick Fury, but then it shows another picture of Daryl Hannah right next to Nick Fury, which I know that's not the case.
Oh, Daryl Hannah. Yeah, what was that from?
Oh, that was Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, we missed the most obvious one.
What was the movie that Samuel Jackson was in that he had the eye patch and wore like the long coat? Was that some X-Men movie? Or something?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's what you said. All right.
So that's Nick Fury. Guys, we
gotcha.
missed the most obvious one. Musical eye patch. Who's the most famous musical eye patch?
Musical.
Brandon, help me out. You know some hip hop. I know I struggle sometimes because no one talks hip hop on these things.
Musical eye patch.
Hip hop?
New York. Yeah, I think New York. Arnaldo.
We got a Sammy Davis Jr.
No, he didn't. Well, yeah, because he has a glass eye, or had a glass eye.
James Joyce had a eye patch, but
James Joyce is on the list, yes, but I mean, Slick Rick. Where no one has Slick Rick.
Oh yes.
I don't know who's
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Geez, yeah, totally slipped my mind.
Oh, funny.
Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse.
Well, is that real though? Does Danger Mouse really need an eye patch? I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
like Madonna needs an eye patch.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm just saying that Persona was a weird one.
Hey, she's a trendsetter, Jose. How dare you? She's been setting trends.
That was like the year that she did that song with who was it? It was not
Maluma.
Bad Bunny. It was like,
Maluma.
Yeah. She just want to have a song with her.
Hey, Jason, do I have permission to share something real quick?
Oh yeah, go for it.
This is going to be if I can do it. Let's see. Hang on. You were not going to believe Jose. You better sit down because you're about to have your mind blown. You ready? Hang on. I got to make this bigger before I do this. Hang on. Command plus.
Is it the Muppets Treasure Island movie?
No. This is going to ruin. Oh my gosh, there's some real. Oh, there's another musical one on here. Okay, hang on. Here we go. You ready? Sorry, we're completely hijacking this thing. All right, ready?
Go for it.
Is it?
Hit share. So I think you got to push that up. David fucking Hasselhoff wore an eye patch. I mean, come on, look at this. That's. I think he was trying to do Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. I do remember this. I mean, David Hasselhoff, the Hoff. Look at. I mean, he's not even. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's so bad, it's good.
I like the guy.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah,
There we go. Dead or Alive.
Another good one.
I don't know.
Man, Dead or Alive. We forgot Pete Burns.
Pete Burns.
That's
Guilty pleasure.
That's debatable as fuck.
I don't know Gabrielle. I don't know who this is. Anyone?
I don't know. R&B.
Yeah, not familiar. There. So there's Daryl Hannah from.
Yeah,
Kill
there we
Bill.
go.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Street Fighter Sagat. Oh man.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's like a video game.
I was gonna say.
Oh, and then there's James Joyce. Look at that.
James Joyce.
Gangster. Bonus points. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, even though that wasn't an iPad.
Yeah.
No.
What?
That looks like a condom to me.
That's good, man.
That was sad.
Hey, I think Moreno wants to jump up. I can jump off if that's cool. Did we go through all the categories? What was the last one, Jason?
Well, so Big Mistakes was the last one. If anybody had something that and this is where I'm thinking of this as something like you're looking forward to, or you get sucked into buying something, and even better if it's really expensive and you get it, and then you're just like, why did I buy that? It either sounds terrible or it doesn't sound any better than the $5 version or whatever.
Can we automatically disqualify MoFi records on this one? Arnaldo.
You're saying
they're coming
easy?
for it. It's a David Gray police. The David Gray police are coming. They arrest you. Citizens arrest.
Did David Bowie have an eye patch?
He did do something with an eye patch. That sounds familiar. Yeah, there was he did a war movie, right, or something, where he was like, I think he had an eye patch.
Yeah, the
Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
What's that freaking movie?
Oh, that's good knowledge.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, right?
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Hang on. I think he's right.
Jeez. We've been around a lot of years. A lot of stuff to reflect back on.
Hey guys, I guarantee you, this is the only place you're going to get eye patch information right here.
I have one.
Digging, eye patch. I mean, this stream's got it all. It's like that Billy Hader Saturday Night Live skit.
I have to jump out in a few minutes. Just real quick, because I have to go in a few minutes. I love this. I had this as a CD like a lot of years ago. This is Tenacious D first record, and as a kid, I remember seeing, because there's another like an original vinyl version, and I remember seeing it when I was with my family in I think Florida. But just my mom hated the fuck out of this artwork, right? Who wouldn't? If you see that at the record store, right? Mm-hmm. Some babies in the thing. So I got this a few years ago, and this is perhaps the worst sounding record I've ever heard.
It's the 11th anniversary or 13th anniversary edition. They did something.
12.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. Get the OG. Get the OG. It's
I think I don't know how much it was. I think it was like maybe 100. The original one.
The originals are like $100. Yeah.
Yeah. But this one sounds so horrible. Like it sounds better if you like an MP3. This doesn't sound better than an MP3.
So Jose, I'm gonna hit you with some trivia. You ready?
Yes.
So so far, I think Tenacious D have like 4 or 5 albums out.
Yes.
There are 3 people who have played on all of the albums. Can you name the 3? The two should be easy, but the third one's the trick.
The third one, is it Kyle?
No, so Kyle, KG.
No.
JB,
what's the other guy's
Jack
name?
Black.
No, wait. What's the other guy's name? Lee. Who's the
famous musician? We talked about one of his bands earlier.
Oh,
I think I know.
I know Dave Grohl has played on some of that stuff.
He's played on every single Tenacious D album.
I didn't know he played on every one.
Yes, he's played drums on every single Tenacious D album.
He's the devil in the movie.
Yes.
Well, but you know Lee. You remember Lee? Like the
the song Lee. Yeah, there's a song called Lee on it.
Yeah, talk about Lee. All right. I think he's also a musician. I think he plays in some of this stuff. or he had something to do besides like that episode. I don't know if anybody's seen the HBO thing, but it's up on HBO. It's only like what 3 episodes, and it got canceled, something like that. But it's really good. I have the DVD. What is it, Time Explorers or whatever? I used to watch it all the time. So that's my pick for there's a record like you buy because you had a childhood and
yes,
you know you want to relive it a little bit, and then for real, like I took it off because I was like, I'm not gonna even the like sketch things that are not music are horrible sounding. Like it's just a horrible sounding record. I don't know what happened. I mean the thing looks fine. It's just the greatest and best debut album in the world. Well, you know.
It's a great live show. I've seen them twice.
How about a free high quality MP3
So, now, Vinyl Me Please, didn't they do one? I don't know how that sounds, but they did one like 3 years ago. Yeah, I'd be curious if they did better on. Actually, I'll look at the disc.
I don't remember that. I know they did.
Look at Discogs. Look at Discogs.
Whoa, hang on. What? Is that? Look at you. Where'd you get that at?
I got this at the last WFMU show that was in the city.
All right.
So we're going back to Jason help. Was it 2019?
Yeah.
2019? Was it in the city or was it in Brooklyn already?
It was in Brooklyn.
Okay, so then 2018. They actually had a table there, and you filled out a thing, and they gave you a free T-shirt.
I just wanted to make sure you didn't have an affiliate deal because sometimes I like to say
no, I don't.
Right,
maybe I should.
I don't know if anybody here can tell me one of the favorite movies, but I know word by word Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Like I know word for word.
Oh, my son would give you a run on that.
I was just gonna say, my son, that's his generation, man.
That's my generation's like. But that one and what is it? A Pineapple Express. I know like word for word.
Pineapple Express.
If you watch it with me, like I know it word for word. Like hurricane season's over and all that. I know it word for word. I love that shit.
Scarface and Weird Science. Those are my 2.
All right, Weird Science.
Oh, Weird Science. Love that. I have to watch that like every year.
I didn't watch it till like a few years ago. I don't know why it just kept but I like them.
What do you have against Oingo Boingo and Danny Elfman, Jose?
You know what? I've never gotten used to listening to that band. Like I've tried very hard, but and Danny Elfman. The problem with Danny Elfman is like if you listen to like the Darkman soundtrack and all that, it's pretty good. But after a point when he did like the Batman, all of them sound like epic-ish, very weird. So I'm not a huge fan of his.
He had. I say his best soundtrack he did past like a lot. He started doing all those epic sounding things you're talking about. Yeah. Remember that movie Wanted with James McAvoy? This is probably Angelina Jolie. I think. That is a terrific Danny Elfman soundtrack. It is.
I don't remember it.
I don't think it's on vinyl.
Can I leave you guys with a trivia question on Danny Elfman?
Ooh, yes.
He's 70. Somewhere.
Okay. There is one. Let's say I don't even call it participation. He does a cameo on an opening song of a TV show that he said, thanks to that, I don't have to pay health care for the rest of my life. The royalties that he still gets from that.
Is it Will and Grace? Is it Will and Grace? It's something like that, right? It's something like that.
I'll never guess it. Go ahead.
Does anybody in chat know?
There it is. Music in the House got it.
Right there.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
That part where he's like, The Simpsons, that's him.
Really? That's crazy. That is trivia right there.
He got that Simpsons money? Damn. That's
can you want
The Simpsons is still on, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's music. I mean, it is music related, but you know what? Like a fact that I just learned like 2 days ago that I thought it was incredible weird. is that you know RuPaul, right? Everybody here knows RuPaul, right?
Yeah.
Who is that? No, I'm kidding.
All right, you know RuPaul.
I'll hear
right?
this and then I gotta go, guys.
All right,
yeah.
yeah. So RuPaul's husband owns a land, I think in Wyoming or someplace like that in the U.S., and they do one of the biggest amounts of fracking everywhere in the U.S.
Really?
RuPaul's husband does one of the biggest fracking parts in the whole of the U.S.
Didn't
And
have
I
that
just
one.
find that amazing. Like, so it's like RuPaul Drag Race presented by.
He's got fracking money.
Yeah, you got that. Fracking. I just
All
thought
right,
it was
guys.
funny. I just thought it was.
It was
funny.
great.
I have to go too.
All right, good seeing you
Jason,
guys.
thanks for
Thank
having me.
you guys for joining.
Good
Appreciate
night,
you.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good
guys.
night.
Hey, Jason, if you want to put the link out there, I think
Yeah.
Moreno wants to pop up.
Mhm.
I think that's John Moreno, right? Or is it? I think John has a couple accounts. I think.
Should I paste it in chat or?
Yeah. Paste it in chat, and then they can pop up, and then it'd be backdoor. That way, they'll see him backstage,
There we
and
go.
if it's like some weirdo who's
Yeah, I
pretending,
was gonna say all these people start joining up. Yeah.
Then you can't like
Who
let
is
them
this
in. Yeah. That way, you can make sure that they're like fully clothed and all that kind of weird.
guy? No imposters.
Telling you, strange people.
John
out there.
Moreno. There we go.
Hey, there he is. What's up,
Hey,
John?
what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, how you doing?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for allowing me to join you.
Absolutely. You got
Join the show.
Chance gave you the stamp of
I gave him the
approval.
blessing because I know he wears clothes and he shows good records. So John
So let me. You guys were talking about guilty pleasures. I actually got this record a week ago, and are you guys ready to laugh? Okay,
Always.
let me set this up. Back in the early 70s, around 1970, there was a cartoon show called Lancelot Link Secret Chimp. It was a kids show where they used monkeys, and people would do the voices for the monkeys, and the monkeys would act out, the little kind of like a Man from U.N.C.L.E. type of a skit,
Sure.
Secret Chimp. Anyway, so in the show, he was in a band called Lancelot Link and the Evolution Revolution. Okay, the monkeys would be playing the instruments and mouthing the vocals, and it was hilarious. It was just a fun show, and as a kid, I enjoyed it. So here you go. This is a soundtrack. I just picked this up.
The cover is amazing.
Yes. And check. Okay, backside, not for sale.
Well, I don't think they have that problem.
I was gonna say can't
Okay, let me name some of the songs: "Yummy Love," "Wild Dreams," "Jelly Beans." Okay, "Rolling in the Clover," "Shala Love You." Okay, and "Vibrate." Just crazy songs, right? So this is the inside. It's actually pretty cool, though. It's well done. Look at this. You gotta love it.
So, John, is this like mid 70s or like when is this about?
This record's 1970. The show was on about, I guess,
early.
in the, like 1970, 71, 72. And I used to watch it back then. As a kid, it was a great show to watch. And you could go to YouTube. It's on YouTube. That's
So who's
Is that
performing on
87?
that? Is it the monkeys or?
okay. Two of the Grassroots worked on this. The Grassroots,
Okay.
the group Grassroots. Two of the guys from Grassroots, and some of the guys from the show that worked on the show. So I think two guys from the Grassroots actually wrote some of the songs. So there you go.
Oh man, that's a good one, dude.
Yeah. Come on, that's great stuff.
That's
Yeah.
strong.
And
That's strong.
I guarantee you, go to YouTube, watch it. You'll laugh. It's good. It is good. So that's a guilty
Definitely.
pleasure. Yeah. Can I go? Can I work my way backwards?
Whatever
Yeah,
you
go
want
for
to do. John, this is your time to shine, John.
Okay. Here's a hidden gem. This is kind of like a soul funk record. You ever heard of this? The Invaders?
Mm-mm.
Okay. This is an unofficial pressing. The originals go for hundreds of dollars. Dylan from Noble Records had an original. Okay. This is like, these guys are from Bermuda. And I can compare them to kind of like Samandi, the group Samandi. You guys heard of Samandi?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so this is a soul funk record, just good funky stuff. If ever you see an OG of this, grab it because it's worth a bunch of money.
Putting it right on my list right now, John. So
Yeah,
I know, me too.
Yeah, but like I said, this was a unofficial pressing, so it was only $10.
Price is right.
Yeah.
Where'd you snag that one?
Record Safari.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so this was actually like legitimately made in Bermuda, right? Or Sweden.
The original pressing, I don't know the label.
So it says Dwayne Records. Everyone knows Dwayne Records.
I think that's the label. Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit! There's one copy for sale right now on Discogs. This is Brandon money, $3,000.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's late '60s. I think
1970, like on the dot.
Oh, okay, 1970. Okay, all right.
Holy smokes! Wow, yeah.
Chance, buddy.
Okay, should I show another one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, this is also kind of like soul. Well, this is soul, just soul funk. 100% pure poison.
Interesting.
I like that cover.
Yeah, this is also a reissue. Originals go for a lot of money. Look for this. It's a cool cover. Look at that artwork.
Yep.
Awesome. Now, there's a killer track on this called The Windy Sea. Windy Sea with a C. It's a funky little soulful number, and it's kind of like part spoken word, like a little story-like, but yet there's some singing too. If you ever see this, an OG, pick it up. Also rare, hard to find.
So that's a UK press, is that right, John?
This is a reissue. Yeah, this is on that. What is it? Something.
EMI?
Huh?
Is it so repress Soul Brother Records? Is
Yeah,
that the
exactly. Yeah, it's a repress. Soul Brother Records. I have this on CD also.
So so originals look like they go about $3 So you're talking $350.
Yeah.
So
yeah, real good stuff. So, want to see more?
Yeah, bring it.
Okay. Now you guys have heard of the group War, right? You know War.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is War. This is Senor Soul. They became War.
No shit.
Yeah. So they put out this album plus another album that was like extra songs. They put this out before they became War, and it's kind of like also like soul funk instrumentals. They're just catchy little tunes. They're just fun little songs, and they do covers of pop. They're on the Double Shot label, and they're covering. They're doing songs like Pata Pata. I Heard It to the Grapevine. Give Me a Little Sign. Psychotic Reaction, which is pretty cool. They do an original of a song called Poquito Soul, which is pretty cool. They cover Sunshine Superman by Donovan. And Uptight, the song by Stevie Wonder, Uptight.
Yeah.
They cover that. But you got to hear it. It's just good, funky little, tasty little soul funk jazz. So, yeah, Senor Soul.
So John, I have a question for you. So BK, Loyal BK says Simandy rules. What's the tie-in to Simandy? Because I've seen that record before, but I don't know the connection.
Okay, they have a similar sound.
Okay,
it's a similar style.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah, also recommend Samandi.
Because I know that stuff. Those are like I think they did a couple albums, and those are OGs are north of 100 every time.
They have I think maybe 3 records. I think I have an original in a box somewhere. It's not in the best condition, but you can get the reissues. They're available.
I do know. Hang on, I don't want to give it away, and not to say people want to spend 125 on a Simandy record, but one of my locals had that recently. That's how I knew it's got the blue cover with the eagle or whatever coming out of his head. Yeah, and they wanted 125, which seemed like the market value. But yeah, there's reissues in the last like 4 or 5 years.
It's on the Janus label, I believe.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah. There was 2 albums because there's the self-titled and then Second Time Around. Like I've seen the reissues floating around there, but this is the first time I've ever seen like an OG pop up for sale. Because they're usually corner clips or like beat the hell. Yeah.
So I don't know what else to show you. Well, actually I do, but I have these records, but I have to apologize. I have to show you the CD because my records are so out of order that it's hard to find the record right now. You guys ever heard of Ned Doheny? You ever heard of this guy, Ned Doheny?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of songs for
Yeah, can you make me big?
Average White Band, right?
Yep.
Okay. He wrote
It's a love of your
Nedohini.
own.
See
I
the
think he
top
wrote
one?
that one.
See this top one right here? Right there. That's called Hard Candy. I got that record. I have the vinyl record somewhere. He wrote a great song called Get It Up for Love. He wrote A Love of My Own that Average White Band covers. He wrote What You Gonna Do For Me that Chaka Khan had a big hit with. Remember that? What You Gonna Do For... You've heard that song. Anyway, so Ned Doheny, and in fact, he comes from the family of Doheny Beach, Doheny Drive here in Los Angeles.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, yeah. So this is considered like blue-eyed soul funk. Very soulful, a little on the pop side. And also Numero, what is it? Numero Uno, that label that puts out compilations. Numero Uno, they put out compilations of rare records and stuff, artists.
Yeah.
They also put out a compilation on Ned Doheny, which I also have somewhere. But anyway, I recently came across this 12-inch single of Ned Doheny doing a song called To Prove My Love. Highly recommend that song. It's just a nice, almost like a dance song. Again, up-tempo dance groove.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a 12-inch single. It's an import. Plays at 45 RPM. I know it's upside down. So
you have more discipline than me, John, because like I get lost when I'm starting to dig in like those 12-inch singles, especially if they don't have like art attached to them. If it's like, even if it's label sleeve like that, like I can't
That's
do
some
it.
blind digging right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some deep digging. Yeah, deep digging.
Yeah. I like 12-inch singles, but luckily the store here in LA called Record Safari, they post a lot of good records on Instagram. And when I see them post something, I try to get over there if I can, get there within like a half hour. And I get lucky sometimes, and I find some really good records. You can ask Rob the Wax about that store. He'll back me up on that.
Well, I know Vinyl Piper Chris practically lives there. Like he was just there like 2 Saturdays ago. Was there at 8. I guess they opened at 10, and he cleaned them out. They had like a Bob Dylan 72 record promo copy, white label. Like he literally murdered them out. Like, so.
Yeah, and they're not cheap. They got some great stuff. And
Brandon went there too when you're in LA, right? Didn't you and Tone
Yeah,
Scott
I think I went there once. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, from what I remember, it was a nice store, nice little store.
Yeah.
Is that Los Feliz? Is that where that is?
It's on Los Feliz. It's next to the 5 freeway. It's just on the east side of the 5 freeway.
Got it.
Okay. It's only about 15-20 minutes from Amoeba Records also.
Oh, okay, good.
So if you plan your itinerary, you can go to what I do. I go to Amoeba, then backtrack, come to Record Safari.
So I haven't been to Amoeba since they moved. Is it any better? Is it any worse, or is it about the same?
The old Amoeba was better. Oh, there you go, Jason. There you go.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
you got a white label promo.
Damn.
You got a promo copy.
This is a great record.
I know. Yeah, I got that.
So underrated, but I think the Numero Uno has like the demos, and the Eagles, like Glenn Frey and Don Henley, they sing backup on those demos, and that's a phenomenal comp.
Right.
Like I would recommend that as well.
Exactly.
But I mean,
thank you. Thanks for showing
fantastic.
You know what? Okay, I bought my copy back. I'm old. I bought my copy back in the 70s for like, I think $4 or something, and now that record goes for well over $100.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's crazy.
It's Again, it's good blue-eyed soul, I guess you want to call it that. Thanks for showing that.
It's good to know what to be on the lookout for. I would have just passed right by that every day of the week.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
So like I would recommend getting the comp. You can get it,
Yeah. They have another copy at Record Safari right now, sealed, of that. Another one. And that's a little hard to find because it's out of print.
I think it's called Separate Oceans 52.
Yeah.
And this one's better to get because you get, oh my gosh, I never thought he was imitating Joni Mitchell here with that back.
Oh man, I wish I would have seen the frame right after that.
Right.
And for all you know, he's on Doheny Beach right there,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow, man.
But let me show them together so you can see them, right? So.
Well, it's interesting that they would like literally repurpose the old artwork from the Hard Candy album.
Right. He's like, "Are you? Is it coming? It's there."
That's cool.
Let's do it again. Highly recommended. I mean, of course you get it in the back, but it's better, when you do it in person.
Yeah.
That's great, dude.
Yeah. You know what? What's interesting is when I bought that record, it wasn't well known, and for me it was a guilty pleasure because I thought, am I the only one that has this record? And I've kept. Thank God I kept it. So I'm going to on 40-something years with that record, and it's one of those records I'm so glad I kept because this is such a good album, and now it's kind of. Now it's become collectible and people are looking for it.
I always have the opposite. Every time I get rid of a record, it goes up in price. I'm like, I'm just going to let this one go. And then a year later, I'll be like, I kind of missed that record. Now it's $100. I'm like, why?
Yeah. I've made the mistake of actually dumping good records in the past. I actually had what's that? What's that? That soul funk record with the Maggot Brain. What's that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
I had an OG copy of that years ago, and I dumped it out of Amoeba. But the copy I had was a little rough. It wasn't clean. Sure. And I said, oh well. And it was an OG, but I just dumped it. But you know what? What's funny is, it's such a popular album, and yet I got the CD, and I'm good with the CD. I don't need the vinyl. So.
That Unipack cover is so cool. I mean, like not only the artwork, but then you open it up. I mean, I don't know. I hear you, but man, it's one of my,
maybe
one of my first upgrades. Like I got a starter copy, pretty cheap. Beat to Hell. It was the Westbound, the multicolor label, and then I actually paid up for an upgrade because I wanted like I was talking about before, the Eddie Hazel opening to the title track.
I want to get that.
Send you to another planet, man. Especially if you're just if you're locked in and just listen to music, like it's a magnificent piece of music. But if you want a cheaper copy, get the 75 reissue, also on Westbound, blue label, much more affordable than the original, and it sounds just as good. Same plates, I'm sure.
And it's out of print, though, isn't it? It's out of print.
So it's a funny thing you say that, John, because I've heard conflicting things because it's been repressed by like 4 Men with Beards, like one of those bad labels, and those copies should stay away, like chlamydia. Like, don't buy that version. But I've been hearing lately, and I forget where I heard it. I heard it in the VC somewhere that apparently they've got the licensing back, and so I think the band and George Clinton specifically are going to like do a whole reissue campaign. If they're going to do it right or not, who knows? Because the conjecture has been, are the tapes destroyed? Like, because that's been the thing. Because so that's 73. So you would have thought the perfect time for the 50th anniversary would have been last year, and nothing. So then the conversation was, well, the tapes have to be destroyed. Like 4 Men and Beards must be using like a backup copy or like digital or whatever. And allegedly, and I use that in air quotes, allegedly the tapes are out there because the band allegedly, and George Clinton specifically, is going to do some kind of big reissue campaign, allegedly, with the tapes. Whether or not that's true or not, again, this is all internet fodder.
Right.
I hope that's the case because you hear it, when these kind of conversations come up of like, man, what would you get like an audio file pressing of from the tapes, AAA, all that stuff. Always comes up in the conversation. That'd
be nice.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Exactly right. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go over any records? Did you guys pull anything aside that you thought of when on the third topic here, big mistakes? Is there anything that comes to mind? I feel like Jason's got one.
I have one.
You got one, Brandon? Okay, go for it.
Just this Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. It's a 2016 pressing, and it's on like a colored vinyl there, which is really the only reason that I got it. I mean, just pull this out really quick. I mean, it's kind of that cool purple.
Yeah.
Black. Yeah. So, I mean, this again, I was talking about like Kenny G being my gateway into jazz. This was my gateway into all things that was hard rock and any type of glam metal. Stay Hungry was the first album that did that. And so, I have a U.S. pressing, a Japanese pressing. So if I go there, I have the MoFi pressing. So I just grabbed this one because it was like, that's a cool color. It'd be one more cool one to have. And there's only a select few albums in my collections that I will have multiple copies of, and Stay Hungry is one. And got this home, and you talk about this has to be the worst sounding album in my entire life.
Oh man.
It's just hideous. It's just, I mean, not only is like the volume cranked down, did something happen to my preamp? Like, what the heck is going on with? It's just, everything about it is horrible. And I've always thought, you know, if I actually had an intent to listen to this particular copy, my idea has been at some point in time it's going to become artwork, and like seriously, somehow it's going to get framed or something, and you know that'll make
a coffee mug out of it.
Yeah, you know, something like that on the wall, because it sounds horrible. But
is that kind of across the board? Is it on? Have you looked it up on Discogs and see if other people are having similar issues? Or
actually, no, I didn't really dive in and see if someone said anything else about it. I mean, I guess I didn't pay that much attention to it, because usually when something comes into my collection right then and there, if there's something about it that I don't like or bugs me or whatever else, it's immediately out the door. Because I don't want anything in my collection that's just about piling and stacking up records. And so this, like, literally, I think is the only thing where I say that's the only album in my collection I can think of that I won't go to the listen.
So Brandon, I got a follow up. Have you picked up the Jar of Flies reissue?
It's sitting at the shop. I haven't actually grabbed it yet.
Okay, so I'll be curious, because Rojas and I have had this conversation privately, and I've kind of said a little bit of my thoughts publicly. I'll be very curious what you think about this, because it's along these veins. I mean, obviously you can track down the Twisted Sister record. They did a MoFi. It's a little bit, the availability is a little bit more frequent. So I know people have been really waiting for this Jar of Flies reissue.
Echo.
Everybody.
Wow.
Oh, really? I don't hear it.
Hang on.
How did that happen?
Actually, it just makes you sound really knowledgeable.
Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on.
Everybody.
Wow. Anyway, Brandon, I would just say I'll be very curious your thoughts on how you think that is. Now, I won't say any more. I don't want to taint your experience.
I'll do a comparison. I do that music vinyl, so yeah, I'll definitely give it a 1-2.
Yeah, I don't know where that goes.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't ever hear it, so I don't know. I don't know if that's on my end or what.
Okay, you're fine.
You're not echoing, Jason.
Oh, okay.
Everybody else is.
Okay. I didn't touch anything, so I don't know.
No, yeah, John was fine before.
Here, let me just toggle you guys. Hold on. We'll see if a little toggle on the mute button works. All right. I don't know.
Hello.
It's so weird. I can't hear it. You guys sound fine.
You sound fine.
How's that? Oh, that's weird.
Jason is the only one that's not echoing.
Yeah, Spins, you're the only one that's not echoing.
Well, I can't even hear your guys' echoes. You all sound fine to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, I can show you one. See if this is correct.
Yeah, why don't we show it off, and then we'll cut it off about that.
So this isn't a big deal, but I try not to go big money on records unless I know I do all my homework and everything and research. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be happy with it. But and one of the things in the vinyl in the jazz community is especially the Blue Notes, is the 75th anniversary has a terrible reputation. And I actually picked up a few of them just to see, and they actually sound really good, the copies I got. And I happen to get UK pressings, which supposedly are all analog. But, if you do the research and everything, the US pressings are definitely digital. But I really wanted this record so bad. And it's, let me blow it up. This is Bobby Hutcherson's Happenings, which was released on the 75th anniversary. Got a 75th anniversary pressing. And it was finally, I finally realized what everyone was talking about. And I just got a terrible copy. It's just surface noise from beginning to end. And No matter what I tried to do to clean this thing, it just wasn't happening. I mean, look, it's like a $30 record, but it's just still one of those things where it's like, you know, and it was sealed. So I just feel like there's no way I can, you know, ask the seller to buy it back or anything. And too much time's gone by anyway. But yeah, man, this is kind of like one that, yeah, it was just disappointing. So I feel like I'm still like 2 for 3 on the 75th anniversary, maybe 3 for 4, I think, actually. Yeah, but this is the one that it's just garbage.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. And this was put out too by it got the Music Matters treatment, which is like the 45 RPM double LP. Chance probably has it. They're like $400 now. So it's like I'm just waiting for a nice reissue of this because man, they're just hard to get.
Somebody showed that in the last few months. I don't know who it was.
Well, Mazzy's always talking about it.
Okay,
oh, really?
Yeah, somebody's shown it in the last 3 months. I've seen it somewhere.
It's a great album. It's just one of those every good band has one, right? It just seems like there's one that's really hard to get, and that's kind of his.
So hey, Spin, so this is great news. Look at Caesar's comment.
Nice. Okay. There we go.
On the 2024, I think it is.
There we go.
Nice.
Right on. Thanks, Caesar. Hell yeah.
All right.
Anyone else? Sorry about the echo. I don't know what happened, guys.
This is my favorite doorstop ever.
There we go.
They turned the treble down for who knows? I don't know. I don't know who owns the company. I don't know. Wink, wink. He decided it was too much for his ears. So now, my favorite doorstop.
And what was that? About 150?
Yeah. You got to put Donald Fagen's great grandchildren through a private school. So
is it really that bad?
What is it?
I said, is it really that bad?
No, it's not that bad. But if you compare it to the original, then you're in trouble. Like you're the guitar solo. Right, the guitar solo in Ricky Don't Lose Your Number, it should really like hit you hard. And then since he, you know, kind of dropped the treble and then boosted the mid range, like you get too much of that mid range, and then you're missing the edge of that lead guitar, you know.
Okay.
So, like I've heard people say, like George Borden's like, just turn up the treble, dude. Like. It seems like, I don't know, that seems foolish. It just reminds me of like what Mazzy says, just shut up, man, turn up the volume. Like, you guys must be so deaf right now. Just turn up the volume? Like, really?
No.
Like, so, and then because you turned it up, it must be so good? Like, oh my gosh. You're kidding.
I don't subscribe to that. When you got to turn it up, you're already losing me because if they've made the noise floor so low to get the separation, like that, it's kind of cheating. I think it's kind. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that technique.
So to me, like get an OG. That's even, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to go to all the trouble, and this has been my argument because I'm pretty economical when it comes to buying records. But it's like if you're going to if you're going to press a record and charge $150 for it, package it up, hype it up, all this stuff, and then it's not even as good as an OG, which is very readily available for a decent price. Right. Then what are you doing? Like I could see if it was an impossible record to find or a really expensive OG or something, but man, it just seems like in that case.
Oh no, John, not you too.
No, it's a 12-inch single.
Oh,
yeah. It's it's an import too. It's 45 RPM.
It's on the Rainbow ABC though.
Yeah. So, you know what? Honestly, it doesn't at 45 RPM. It doesn't really sound that much better. I thought it would.
Huh?
It sounds good, but not like way better. Yeah. So, and another 12-inch single. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And this was a 33 and a third.
Yeah, that's off his solo record, Nightfly, I think it is, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yep. And you know that right now they have at Record Safari, they have Morph the Cat, the Donald Fagen album, the solo album, but they have an audiophile pressing and they want 125 for it, but it's sealed. Here, see, I got a picture. It says I don't know if you guys can read this. Probably no. That's going to be a little difficult. Anyway, it's HPV 180 gram plating and pressing by RTI, mastered for vinyl by Kevin Gray and Steve Hoffman at Acoustech. Okay, so it's an audiophile record.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going for a lot of money, and it's sealed.
I thought HPV was human papillomavirus. Isn't that a bad thing?
I guess.
And now life gets good.
Yeah.
Now you're in the commercial.
Full circle, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you got something, Chance? You didn't show something, right? Do you have something?
No, I mean, I was talking about the Alice in Chains. Now, this one, I was just going to tell a quick story, only in the sense that, and I think it's a public service announcement. And it kind of goes back to like what John was saying about sealed records. Like, I got snake bitten for the last time on sealed dead stock. And I was at a local record show probably last 6 months. And a local shop who I don't frequent often for a couple of reasons was there. This is one of them now. He had Midnight Marauders by Tribe Called Quest sealed. And so I studied it. And when it's sealed, obviously you can't look at the matrix information. So you have to go off of either a barcode scan or visual cues or whatever. And so I did as much studying as I could. I even talked to him because he wanted, I think, like 100. And I was like, are you sure this is – because he had a first pressing sticker on. He was convinced it was a first pressing. I did all my research. I couldn't dispute that, but I also could not confirm it. And so I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, man, all the research I've done. And I don't think he was being dishonest. I just think he was being like, I don't think he did as much as he could. Anyway, long story short, I work him down. I think I got it for $75. I also here's what I should have done. I should have sight unseen. I should have probably said, look, I'll open it here. If it's the OG, I'll pay you what you want. If not, it'll pay my price. That's probably how that should have went down. Clearly, that's not what went down. So I bought it. I got it for $75. I got it home. Not only was it not the OG, it wasn't even the first repress. It was like a second repress, and it was warped. So it was a double kick in the stick because you know what I mean? So anyway, so I am like, I wouldn't say terrified, but I've always tried to avoid old dead stock just for those reasons about the warping more than anything else. But anyway, unless you don't know, especially, and again, it's not like it's like cheap. 75 isn't terrible, but it's also not cheap, right? So I would caution against, like, if you don't know, don't do it because you're erring on the. I mean, again, I did take a gamble. I wasn't mad. He even took a picture of me at the show, like, oh, this guy got this OG, and I had to like text him afterwards on Instagram, and be like, please don't run that photo. This is not the OG. I wasn't mean about it. I know I'm a big boy. I knew what I did, but anyway, so yeah, that was more of a like buyer's regret moment in terms of like records that I've bought. Sorry, Brandon. Spoiler alert. Alice in Chains was a little underwhelming to me. So, that would be a more recent example. It's fine, but I was hoping for more on that one. So,
something had to be wrong. It was only $25.
It's a great price. So that's a gamble that's not as bad because Brandon may listen to it and be like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? Like, side note, Brandon, I haven't talked to you. Godsmack Awake, did you get the store copy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I figured, so I didn't send you a note on that one, but I figured that you'd be all
got the black one coming into the store, and I ordered the green one on the website.
Yeah, I got the green one coming, but I knew you'd be all over that one.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that.
Godsmack, you have to say something to me. Don't hesitate, man, because
just in case.
Just say
fair enough. What were you saying, John?
I watched the interview Chance you did of Brandon. That I did that. Saw that interview you did of him, of Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That was a good video. I liked it, and
thanks. Yeah.
And whenever Brandon is talking, I'm staring at the wall. I'm just looking at the wall behind him. It's like, oh, look at that.
Eyes up here, John. Eyes up here. Brandon gets that all the time. Yeah.
Looking at those records.
If you haven't seen his room tour, John, maybe you haven't.
I've seen it.
God.
I've seen it. I'm just like, oh my God.
It's it took me back to being like a 7-year-old in Toys R Us. Exactly how I felt, man. It was like
it's so awesome, and I like that you got like a second room, like an office back there, and you got some vintage audio equipment too, a Marantz. Oh my God, I'm like, just look at this stuff. I was just very impressive, just nice stuff. Just
thanks, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's like, geez.
And I love how you're like, you have if it doesn't make the, what do you call it, fit the bill, if it doesn't make the cut or whatnot, it goes into like a separate section, and it's like, no, like, and that everything is like, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but everything's like near mint, or is it?
I mean, I have my fair share of VG plus, you know, some stuff that's just going to be VG plus, but yeah, it's just like from the moment I decide to bring something in the collection, like I was saying a moment ago, you know, as soon as something hits the door or even hit the door, it has to be just a great possibility of staying in my collection. It's like you do your cleaning before you even buy the record, because the first part is getting something that does not need to be scrubbed down. And I've found over time, if you're just patient, eventually that thing will come around.
That's the Jason Rojas line, and it's very true. It eventually comes around. Yes.
Yeah. Jason, you have some. Are those all originals, OGs on the wall behind you? Nice.
I just missed that Ahmad Jamal. Dusty just had it on their website, and I was like, I've been
for how much?
I didn't catch it because when they sell it, then it just says just sold out. So I never even got to that point, but that record doesn't come up too often.
Well, that's what I used to see a lot, because I was really kind of buying up Ahmad Jamal's a few years ago, and I would see that and be like, you know what, I'll just wait. It's a little bit pricey. Even then, it just seemed like it was a little pricey, but I had no idea it was just going to continue to skyrocket, and now it's kind of out of reach. But I like my reissue. It's actually a really nice one. But yeah, I should have snagged that original back in the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there. You know, I guess I don't know if you guys go through this where you pass on a record you just should have bought. You know, it's like, oh, why didn't I buy it? You know, and like a day later, you're like, why didn't I buy that? You know, I should have just bought it. You don't want to pay the money at the moment. Oh, $50, whatever. And then later you're like, it's gone and I don't have it. Now I'm crying, you know.
Well, Brandon taught me a good piece about that, John. And what Brandon, you know that line? I can say it.
Money on the shelf.
Yeah. So Brandon, like, and I learned this from American Pickers. You can always like get it, and if it doesn't work, sounds bad or whatever, it's money on the shelf. You can get, you can turn around and get it back. So because exactly that point, John, if you whiff on it and either have buyer's remorse or a year later you still can't find it, and when you do, it's sticker shock, you're kicking yourself, right? So like it's better just to buy first, ask questions later. In these cases, right? Like the story I just told about dead stock, I wouldn't recommend people do that only because of what happened to me. But if it's open, you can view it. You know it's a genuine article. At worst, if it doesn't meet your criteria for whatever reason, it's easy to move it on down the road.
Yeah.
But it is disappointing though when you buy it and you go, "Oh my God, it's no good."
Yeah. like the other day, like when I got that Stooges, that white label promo, like of course I went in there just killing time. So when this thing pops up and I'm seeing the price tag on it, I'm like, there's no freaking way. But then the first thing I thought was, you were never going to see one again, especially in this condition.
Yep.
So I know anytime I do that, as soon as I get home, I have to put stuff on Discogs and sell enough to get all my
there you go.
Just like, but I have it. And that's exactly what I did over the past week. I sold enough and I got all the money back. So I'm like, I didn't pay anything. I just did a trade. That's all that just happened. And so that's how I solved that. Just grab it and then you'll figure it out. You have a big enough collection where you can get rid of stuff and be cool with it.
Is your Discogs all up to date, Brandon? I mean, how does that work? Is that all part of your system when you kind of bring things in and process them? Is part of that logging your records on Discogs too?
Oh, I'm fanatical with that. There's a complete and total process when a record comes in between cleaning, getting put into Discogs, getting
Brandon,
the label on the back.
Not these guys, but some guys gave me so much shit because I said I've adopted a process, and I might have been a little bit funny about it, but about the lavender bath and stuff. But it's true. I borrowed that cue from you because it's a couple of reasons. One, it keeps you on top of things, and two, if you don't, a lot of us have been there. The stuff starts piling up. Start stacking up, and now you've made more work for yourself, and then you're just digging out of a processing hole. So better just to, like, I've got a little station now. Like Brandon's like showing me the way that, like, I've got like my new arrivals. I'm a little behind on cataloging everything in Discogs, but at least in processing things and it's all centralized that I can do it when I'm ready.
Yeah, that to me is an absolute must. I mean, and there's something fun about it too. It's just one more way to enjoy having the physical media.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's more than just playing the record.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the whole process of reading about it. And even just looking at the artwork and looking at and reading the liner notes. That's you don't have to play music sometimes. You just look at the records.
Right.
And you just
Exactly.
you learn by just looking through them, and you're just refreshing your memory or learning or something. It's like a book on a shelf in a way. You're not always reading it, but you can flip through it and just,
It's an immersive experience beyond listening. I think
you don't get that on Spotify.
You don't get it on Spotify. You don't get it on some CDs with the little baby booklets and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
There are literally sometimes I'll come down to my music room and I'll spend 30 or 45 minutes down here going through stuff, and I'll never play a record.
Yeah.
Like I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
It's just whatever I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I just want to handle and look,
And it's cool when you got a nice collection of one of your favorite. Like I'll come down, I'll do the same thing. I'll just pull out all the Bobby Hutcherson.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of go through them one at a time and just kind of as a collection. It's just fun,
Right.
Yeah.
Again, there's certain albums that are hard to find. They're very expensive to get. So sometimes I have to settle for the CD, until I can. But there was one. In fact, if I get a half a minute, I can grab the CD real fast. There's this album. I want to grab it real fast. Hold on.
While he's doing that, just another question, Brandon. I love talking to you about this stuff. Have you been collecting records straight through from like the beginning of Discogs? And I'm just curious, like how long have you been consistent with that?
Yeah, I mean, I first started buying records, I would say like 2005, 2006-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And around like 2006 to about 2012, I mean, I was looking and buying and searching for things probably at 4 or 5 times the rate I am now. Like, I mean, I was just everywhere grabbing everything, which is kind of a blessing looking back on it, because, a lot of the grails and stuff I have in my collection, those were $5 albums, $10 albums all day long, So now, like with working at the shop or working at a shop for the past 7 years or so, I don't spend a lot of money on records at all. I just don't really have the money to spend. But, every week, if I'm bringing home 100, 125 or whatever dollars of records every single week, just by working at the shop here and there, that stuff adds up over the years.
It sure does. Yeah. You got a good situation there because you work for not for money, but for the records, correct? For the credit.
Right.
That is ideal situation. That's
right.
The way to do it.
Especially if I didn't work there, that's where you'd be hanging out all day in the first place.
Right.
It's at the record store with everybody, a chance of everyone coming through.
Is it full-time or part-time?
No, I really just work 1 day a week.
Okay.
And sometimes I sub in for guys when they can't make it, or something like that. So my full-time job, I'm a financial advisor. That's what I do on a regular basis.
Okay.
So yeah.
What's the name of the store and what city? Where do you work at?
It's a Riverbend Records. It's in Godfrey, Illinois.
Okay. All right.
Basically the greater St. Louis area, but
okay.
Godfrey, Illinois, technically.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I always feel a little odd because as much as I love records, I'll still buy CDs and I listen to CDs. So I'm not completely, but I love the records. I have a bunch of records here and everywhere. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you ever heard of this group called Odyssey. You're familiar with this record? Okay. This is kind of an interesting group. They did one album and the style is kind of weird. Not weird, but they're kind of like they're almost like country folk yet soul. One song would be kind of like a country folk song. Next song would be soulful. The record is rare. It goes for a lot of money, over $100. Now there's another group called Odyssey. There's another group called Odyssey that did had a disco hit called Native New Yorker. It's not them. That's another group. This is the other group. This was like on Motown when it came out to the West, but they were, I think, called Mo West. Remember, I think Motown became Mo West Records on that. So it's on that label. if you find this, pick it up. There's at least 1, 2, or maybe 3 killer tracks on it. It's not a common record. It's kind of rare. Yeah, so I got the CD because I wasn't about to pay like $150 for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's what's the name of the song? It's called there's a great song in it called Our Lives Are Shaped by What We Love. Beautiful song. Beautiful. So that's one to look for.
So this is originally 1972, if I'm looking at it right, John.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Has anyone done like high definition digital or anything like that, or dipped their toe or been curious about that? I've actually been thinking about, I have sampled some stuff that's at a high, bit rate or whatever. That sounds really great. And I've actually considered maybe getting like a DAC or something. I haven't yet, but that would probably be the way I would go if I was going to go digital, try something like that. I did the CD thing and all that stuff. I don't, again, it's another physical thing, I guess, to have. I'd rather save that space for my records. But yeah, I'm just curious. I don't know if anyone else has kind of dipped their toe into that water at all.
Yeah, no, I haven't gone there at all. Well, kind of like John, like I'm still a big fan of CDs, and it's a big fan of cassettes. Like, I love playing cassettes as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what cassette player do you have, Brandon?
The Nakamichi LX3.
You know what? Okay, I have the Nakamichi BX1. I think it's a BX1. It was called the entry level, not bottom of the line, but entry level.
Yeah,
I still have it.
Yeah, I think mine's a pretty entry level one too. But I mean, I mean, it sounds as good as just about anything else you play when you get a good tape in there.
It sounds great.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's the brand to get, right, on a cassette deck. The Nakamichis.
I in general, I think so.
Well, yeah, you know what? I got it back in the day when I had a cassette player in the car, so I would record my LPs to cassette and play it in the car, and it sounded really beautiful. Yeah, great player.
So you've been collecting since the 70s, you said, John?
Yeah, at least for 50 years now. Since the 70s. In fact, I bought my first record in 1972.
Jeez, that's awesome.
And fortunately, okay, so I started collecting in the 70s. I was a casual collector, not hardcore, but I was a casual. I bought records. So in the 80s, when CDs came out, I made a mistake of selling records back. Fortunately, I kept about 80% of my records, at least. So I'm glad I kept those records. Like all of my rock albums, my soul records, I still got them. Thank God. But there's a few things I dumped that I wish I would have kept, and so it goes.
Right.
But now I wish I would have bought more stuff, but but I got a few things I got for cheap back then. White label promos and stuff, and
Nice.
Yeah, again, you look back and said, I wish I would have bought more because they were so damn cheap. You took it for granted, right? Back then, you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
I can remember in college there was this place called the Record something, but it was a place where you went and got CDs, and it was kind of right when used CDs had started to become a thing. And I remember them having this sign in the back that had said just where they kept all the records just in these random boxes, and it was 12 for $10. That's how much all the LPs were.
Wow.
And of course, who buys records? I can remember saying that, but 12 for $10.
Yeah. What's so funny is because the Amoeba Records, when the original store opened up in Hollywood, I think 2001, I think. So I remember I went on opening day. It was a long line and all that, and I went in. I bought CDs, okay? And I remember looking at some people were buying records. I thought to myself, and I kind of almost laughed, like, oh, people are still buying records. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Here I was getting CDs, and for the longest time I was buying CDs, and then little by little I started to buy vinyl records again. But back then the whole mentality was, oh, buy the CD.
I'm always skeptical when people say, oh yeah, I just kept my collection over the years. I never sold out for CDs. It's like, everyone I knew was like But not everyone. There were people that stuck it out somehow, some way. But it was just like, the same thing as having a cassette tape. And then, whatever the latest technology is, if it's more convenient, it's still supposed to sound good. Why wouldn't I just sell my records and go get CDs, which is exactly what I did.
Right.
But yeah, to your point, like I always kept some, and there was always that little nagging thing of like, you know what? This isn't what I thought it was going to be for me. Like, just selling off and just buying all CDs. It was kind of like, you know what? I wish I had my records back, kind of a thing. And so I started buying them back again, like in the 90s and stuff.
Right,
but yeah.
You know, when the CDs came out, my buddy was a big record collector. Then he bought CDs, and I was like, oh, wow, this is great. So I got a CD player and started buying CDs. I took my records out of the house and stuck them in the garage. No records were in the house. They're in the garage. And I just put them like on a lower shelf in the back of the garage. Okay. And they sat there for a few years. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I still had my turntable, and it was also in storage. I go, you know what? Let me pull it out and play a record. Fortunately, the records I kept were not damaged, and they were in a garage. The garage that gets hot. At the most, some records got some bugs in them, but that's only a few of them, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 records. But the majority stayed in great condition. They didn't warp. They weren't dirty because they had plastic covers. The turntable still worked. And when I remember when I first brought back the turntable and I played Santana's Moonflower, and I thought to myself, hey, this sounds pretty good. It just hit me. It's like I said, the record does, hey, this sounds great. I'm realizing that, records sound great. It hit me, and I had a collection of CDs. So I didn't immediately start buying records again. It took a while for me to get back into it. But, I'm like, well, at least I kept most of my records, so that was a good thing.
Is it crazy to say that, like, if you grow up on analog, vinyl, even cassette tapes, 8-track, stuff like that, which is kind of what I did, you sort of miss that. It was kind of like when I put on a record, it had some, at that time, I didn't care if it was what kind of condition my records were in, or, I think Chance and I talked about this. It wasn't like I was there scrutinizing. There was no Discogs, there was no internet, but it was like those few pops, it just brought me back. It was like, oh, this is what music's supposed to sound like. It just sounds too perfect, listening to it on a CD. And that was kind of the appeal for me, which like, you know what? Nah, man, this is the way it should be. I love having the big artwork. And like you talked about, John, too, like being able to read through all the liner notes and all that stuff. Yeah, it just quickly was like, you know what? No, this is how it's supposed to sound. You're supposed to have a little bit of grit. It's supposed to sound, it's supposed
Fortunately, a lot of my records, because I'm anal, I kept a lot of my records in great condition. A lot of my records from the 70s are like I would say VG plus near mint. They sound fantastic. Because I was anal. I wanted the record. I don't want any noise. Although I remember talking to some lady once, and she goes, I like the sound of a click and a pop. I love that, the way it sounds. And now my mentality has changed. I don't mind if I get a little bit of noise or a click and a pop. I can live with it. It's like, it's not a big deal. It's not going to, now, of course, you don't want a rough record that sounds terrible. So you get something like that, you don't want it. But every once in a while, a click here and there, or a pop. I'm not saying a lot. I mean, minimal.
Right.
I can live with it. It's not going to.
I don't know about you guys. It's kind of funny. It almost kind of depends on the record. There's certain things like I'm okay with that little bit of noise. And there's certain stuff like I don't want any noise. If I hear a pop, I'm like, what? No. But then I don't know if it has to do with the genre, the age, whatever it is. There's just certain stuff. I just feel like it's supposed to have a little grit to it. I don't know.
Well, you know what?
I think. Oh, no, go ahead, John.
If it's a jazz album, like I was at a store today and I was going to pick up a Kenny Burrell record. So I played it on their turntable and it had too much noise for me. So I didn't buy the record. So there's that, there's a
line. Yeah, for sure.
There's a line. Yeah. It has, if it's a more quiet stuff, I don't want too much noise. I want a quieter record.
I got
like a metal record, you can get away with that because
right.
like literally, like what was the record I just played the other day that had a little bit? I had like a Megadeth record or something, and you can get away with it because unless it's a quiet passage, which few and far between on a metal record, right? It's okay. But yeah, John, to your point, like it was jazz or something. I definitely don't want to like have that in any way be a distraction to what I'm trying to immerse myself in. What were we saying, Brandon?
the thing that kind of pops up for me with that, because when I first started collecting, I actually, again, one of the things I loved about it was the noise, because that was putting on a record and so forth. But I noticed that, and it actually kind of makes sense, the more you start getting into, okay, let me find the exact sweet spot. Let me upgrade my speakers. Let me upgrade my cables. Let me get a better amplifier. Let me get a moving like if you're going to start putting money into those type of things, I just don't think a pop should come along and just take that out.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And I think that's where I start getting more anal with, if I'm going to put time and effort into finding the sweet spot and laying out a system and actually putting something together, I need to be getting the best source to come through this thing. Otherwise, why the heck did I, get these cables or whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump off, guys. I gotta take care of a couple things before the
all right,
night
brother.
comes.
Thanks for joining.
All right, guys. John, good to see you.
Good night.
See you.
And be good, guys.
Thanks, Chance.
See you.
How's everyone else doing? I know it's getting late for people. Do you guys want to wrap it up, or what are you thinking?
I'm yapping as long as anybody else is yapping.
Okay, I don't know. Are you good, Jason? I try to be respectful of everyone's time.
I'm done for the night, guys.
You're done?
You guys can keep going.
Hey,
All right,
Jason.
man.
Jason, can I say something to Jason? Thank you that you didn't show any turquoise tonight. Thank you for not showing the turquoise. No.
He's like, let me.
I'm just kidding.
I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Jason. See you next time, man.
All right. Yeah, I'm good for a few more minutes too.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's one thing I've always thought that's kind of interesting, because you were talking about John still liking CDs and everything, and I do too. I love CDs. And I've always thought, if they would start putting CDs in long boxes again, I would actually probably start collecting CDs the same way I collect vinyl records right now. Going back and just buying all of the Ozzy stuff and the Maiden stuff and all these CDs already have. I would go back to get the new ones just to get the long boxes.
Also, you can, if you get into a CD, Super Audio CD, CDs and CD player, that's a good way to go. I actually have right now I have a regular Rotel CD player, but my older one was a HD Rotel, high definition CD player. And I have a few high HD CDs. Those sound really good. I mean, they sound excellent. There's so much detail. I was really impressed. But my player got old and it was having some issues, so I replaced it. But those HD CDs sound really good. And there are some well-mastered CDs that sound really good. They actually will sound better than a record at times. In some cases, not every case. So, that's why the CD is good, some labels are better than others,
Yeah, I mean, I have a number of those. The store that I used to work at, called the Music Record Shop, and I did the same thing there. I worked for Store Credit, and they carried a lot of the MoFi CDs, so I picked up a lot of those SA CDs there. But like for me, I think it really kind of goes back to the packaging thing. It's like we were saying before, one of the great things about vinyl is the tangible nature of it. Like, we like music stuff, music stuff in my hands.
It's fun. It's actually, it's weird. The physical holding of it, of the record cover or the CD. I love doing that. I love putting the record on. I love putting the CD in the player. And then I like to put the CD in a position where I can see the CD, the cover as it's playing, and also another thing about CDs is you can find a lot of music on CDs you can't normally get on vinyl. You get the extra tracks, you get some rare stuff, the box sets have all this, stuff you can normally find. So it's the best of both worlds.
How hard is it to find those long boxes now, guys? Is it can you even find them? I mean, do you have any, Brandon, that you collect that way, or?
I don't have any at all. And it seems like whenever they do pop up, no matter what the album, there's a hefty little sticker. And so it's kind of like, I don't think I can even be able to get into enough of them to like buy enough to have a collection.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I still have some long boxes in storage.
Really?
Wow.
Put away. Because I've got a storage unit that's next to the garage. It's a big room and it's full of stuff. It has records. I got some audio equipment in there. I got some posters. long box. I got all this a bunch of stuff, and it's a big project waiting for me to, I have to sell some stuff, and I got to make room for more records that I have in the house to put over there, But I've got stuff. It's like I've got about 3 receivers and 3 amplifiers. I got another turntable. I got a set of speakers. And good stuff, Good. I got some vintage equipment in there, some Rotel. Anyway, I got some other stuff put away.
That's cool that you have posters too.
Movie posters and rock posters too.
I remember growing up, man, in high school, dude. My room was wallpapered, and you can't find them. Like sometimes I'll be on eBay, just I want to grab this. For me, it was new wave stuff. It was Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, and I had all that Depeche Mode. But you just can't find them now. They just everyone threw them away, I guess. And sometimes I think, you know what? I'm gonna maybe try to find that photo and make my own in Photoshop and have it printed and put on the wall because they're so cool.
I think I think they're still out there. You can find them at certain record stores. Do have
really?
Yeah, there's I live in LA, so there's a place called Rockaway Records that sells posters. Amoeba Records sells posters. They got the rare ones. They got the reissues. You can find stuff if you look. It's out there.
Yeah, well, we have a guy. There's this one record show here in St. Louis that takes place about 5 times a year, and there's a guy that comes there that he only brings posters.
Really?
And he brings hundreds. I mean, almost everything you see on my wall came from him. Like the Pixies behind me, just the AC/DC.
Yeah.
Are they pricey?
Tons of stuff. No, he's one of those. I'll give you that one for 10. I'll give you that one for 15. I'll give you 3 for 25.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So maybe what I need to do is get your number or something. So next time he does come around, I can like a FaceTime or something, let you kind of browse through and see what he has, because he has tons of stuff that he brings there.
That is awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. That's cool.
So I got a quick story for you guys. All right. My cousin used to work at a theater in the 1970s, at a theater. He was in charge of putting up the posters and taking them down, so the posters he brought down, he could keep them. So he brought home stacks. He had stacks and stacks of posters. Okay. And he had them, and then he didn't want them. He gave them to my dad. Okay. And my dad had these stacks and stacks of posters. And these are movies from the 70s, maybe from the 60s, actually from the 60s also. Original Star Wars posters and stuff like that. And all these other posters. Wow. And my dad would have yard sales. So my dad sold a lot of these posters for $1 a piece. They just went to sell them. And you imagine some Star Wars posters for $1. And I remember he did this like in the 80s, early 80s. And I remember a guy from around the corner was renting a house. So he bought a bunch of posters and some Star Wars posters, and you just stick them on the wall. And it was a party house, And so he had these, now these posters are worth hundreds of dollars. But back then, $1 a piece, sure, why not? But I didn't keep any of the high-end stuff. I got a few old, like I got Cuckoo's Nest, One Floor of the Cuckoo's Nest. I got one of those in storage.
Oh, that's
cool. I have
cool.
a Godfather poster. So I kept a few things from that because my dad sold a lot and I kept some stuff. Back then I didn't know.
Of course, yeah.
But fortunately, I ended up keeping some stuff, and I have some stuff in storage.
Cool.
And I actually sold. I had so many. I sold some to Amoeba Records, the old Amoeba, because I had some. It's like I have to get rid of this stuff. I can't keep, So
yeah,
I sold some of that stuff too. I just, I took credit and bought stuff at the store.
Every time I hear Amoeba, I grew up in the Bay Area, so we had Amoeba out there too.
Yeah,
and Rasputins and stuff. But talking about the posters and just not knowing, like my dad, who grew up in the 60s, he would go to the Fillmore and he would get Fillmore posters. And I remember just going, when my parents were separated, I go to his house and just lining the ceiling were all posters from the Fillmore with, taxing them and stuff. And they just didn't survive over I remember seeing those back in like the 80s and stuff. He still had them and it was just beautiful. I mean, Hendrix, Grateful Dead, whatever. It was all there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they just went bad, and
I don't know. He was really transient in the sense of like moved around a lot, and I just think stuff ends up getting, I don't remember. I never really asked him. I just remember one day they were gone. So but yeah.
You know what? I also speaking of. I had a good Technics turntable back in the late 70s, and I wish I would have kept it. I forgot a 1200. I think one of those Techniques, the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
and I just wish I would have kept it. But you know, you don't think these things, you know. And I think my parents went and sold stuff at the flea market. I said, "Can you sell this turntable for me? Get whatever," you know. And I wish I just kept it, you know.
Yep.
Who knew, right? Who knew?
Who knew, man?
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, but the digging continues, right? I mean, you know, again, I'm close to a lot of record stores, and I can't help but going out and looking for stuff. And you know, it's hard to restrain myself from buying stuff all the time, but I can't help it. Every once in a while, if I find something good, if I find something good, I'll buy it. You know, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I'm the same way. If I find something good, I feel like I'm surrounded by great stores. I'm out here in Portland, Oregon, and there's tons of stores out here. I just have a really hard time finding. Most of the stuff I buy, I find myself buying online for whatever reason. Like I know what I want, I find it, and I kind of get it like that. I love being able to pick and find stuff, but I almost get discouraged a little bit because I'm sort of like, you know what? There's just you didn't spend a lot of time digging through dusty records and just not come up with anything. Not in the Bay Area. I mean, when I'm in Rasputin's or Amoeba, I swear there's always something there. Yeah. And you know there's a great place out here called Crossroads, which has a lot of used stuff, and they actually have a bunch of different vendors in there. I can usually find stuff, but I find myself not really going to record stores that much, even though I'm surrounded by them, just because I feel like I go in and out and I might come out. I'll get something because I'm like, well, I went through all the effort to dig. I'm going to get something. I get it home and I'm like, I don't even want this in my collection, man. Right. I only bought it because I had to buy something, you know?
Right. Well, you know what? Come to LA. Come to LA. You're surrounded by stores.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, again, sometimes you find too much good stuff. Yeah. And you go, oh my God, I'm going to go broke. So, you know, you got to control yourself. Then sometimes it's not, you know, you go to a store, it's not all that great. It's like, you know, but
yeah, that's definitely one of the things I've gotten very comfortable with. And one of the things I like about how picky I've gotten with condition and all of that is anytime I go to a store, honestly, I feel lucky if every 4 to 5 trips, I may find something that I want. And I've gotten very comfortable with just walking out of a store, didn't have to get anything, didn't find anything. You know, it's just because for a while, kind of like you were just saying, Jason, it was hard. We're like, I got to get something. And then you come home, you're like, what did I get this piece of crap for?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but you almost have to train yourself to be comfortable to say, I didn't find anything.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I spent an hour at a record store digging through every single record. I spent the gas, the time. I'm walking out of here with the best thing they have, whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, again, if that's the case, maybe you're at the wrong store. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and too, I just think too, and I don't have a huge collection or anything, but it's like I sort of have a lot of the stuff I want, and now I'm just sort of looking for stuff that's. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe stuff I wouldn't normally get, something to kind of jump out at me. I think maybe like Brandon's saying, like it's easy to go to a record store, even if they have a nice selection, and just not either they don't have what I'm interested in, or I already have a copy of it, you know? So it's kind of like, in a way, and it's a privilege to be in the situation to be like, you know, it's harder to find something I really want now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I know I'm repeating myself, but this store Record Safari, I like because 95% of the time they have a great selection of records for really great prices. You know, you can find a good rock album sometimes for $3 or $5, which ain't bad, you know. Then they have the higher end stuff too. So usually I will find something good in there, you know. And the worst time was I only bought one record. It was a Miles Davis on Prestige for like, I think $10 or $15, but it was an OG, you know. Nice. And I go, well, all right, you know, I couldn't find anything, but I found that. I said, this is good. You know, so better than nothing, right?
I love Miles on Prestige. I'm putting together trying to get all his Prestige stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Well,
about how many albums do you have in your collection now, Jason?
I mean, I think I probably have like around 800, something like that.
Okay.
It's not that many. I mean, when I sort of kind of got back into it, I just started getting all the staples and like trying to get like every Frank Zappa that I had to go back and buy all the Grateful Dead because I had sold off a collection not long ago. And so, you know, I'm still building, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of the stuff that I really want, the stuff I'm going to go to and listen to. It's right. I really like having, and again, it starts to change as you do start to get everything that you really kind of want, then you start to kind of expand your horizons. But when I got back into it, it was really just a matter of, I just want stuff that good albums. Like, I'm someone that I really like to hear something from beginning to end. I like great sequencing and all of that stuff on my records. And it's something that I want to have an experience. I'm not going to go out and buy like records where maybe there's only one track that I like or something, or at least I didn't, it might kind of get to that point, but yeah, I call it like a very well curated collection for me. It's the stuff I love. And so that's kind of what I have.
Right.
Yeah.
You want it. Yeah. You want your shelf to be all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I get it.
How many do you have, Brandon? I mean, you got a lot.
I mean, I'm probably just like maybe 4,800 or so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good size, but considering 20 years, like it's not insane.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
again, it's not the size of the collection. It's the records that you have,
Right.
You can have 500 great albums, it's like an audio system. You don't have to have the top of the line stuff. All you need is good audio equipment that functions properly and sounds right. No issues. That's all you need. The same with the collection. As long as you have good records that are good for you, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you have, 200,
Right.
Yeah.
Although I know we have more than that, but I mean, there's always more, but I don't know.
I mean, I've always said plain and simple, like your music collection should represent you. Where if someone can come into your home when you're not around and go through every piece you have, they should be able to walk away and go, I have somewhat of an idea about what this dude's kind of like. It's like that's to me is what your collection should represent. So if people are getting ideas about you that aren't really accurate, or it's like, well, maybe you got a bunch of fluff in your collection that just isn't quite,
So when they see this, what are they going to think when they see this?
They're going to think somebody in LA has been collecting records for 50 years.
The guy's weird. But again, if the record makes you happy, if it works for you, that's all that matters.
Right.
If it makes you, if you're enjoying it, more power to you.
And there's always more to buy. So don't get me wrong. It's like, there's just, but a lot of the stuff I think now it's just stuff I don't see in record stores. It's just a lot of stuff that I tend to see online and stuff like that. But
you're making a good point right there. Okay. You go to the record store and maybe you don't find anything. Just remember, there's always next time.
Yeah.
There's always next time. There's always tomorrow. There's always next week, next month. You're going to find something else. So if you didn't buy anything now, if you didn't spend the money, that's okay. You're going to come across another good record in a day, in a week, or a month later. It's going to come to you. So that patience, practice that patience of, okay, I didn't buy anything. Yeah. There's going to be another record. There's going to be another time. I'll find more stuff. There'll be more,
Yeah.
So
that's what Billy, the guy that owns the record store I work at, we say that all the time about the local record shows. It's like it's impossible to go to a local record show and spend $40 or $50. You're going to spend zero, or you're going to spend 400. There is no in between.
Right.
So all those times you go and spend zero, don't even think about it, because that third show, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll take it.
It's funny how that works. Yep.
I know.
Are any of you guys going down to the Texas, the big record show in Austin, Texas, in May?
I'm not.
Yeah, probably not. Chance has been trying to get me to go for the longest, and I was going to try to go last year, but just didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about that. I would like to go, and it's more about meeting up with everybody else at all the other collectors. Mm-hmm. But I'm also thinking about the money I spent to fly down there and stay somewhere. And I'm thinking that money that I spent on that, I could spend on records, here in LA, so I don't know. It just,
yeah. And then you got to get scared with the records you think, you'll probably find there too,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not really.
And those dealers are going to be charging collectors' prices, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that definitely guess.
And then I'm so weak. Okay, do you take a credit card?
Because then you're really like, okay, not only did I drive here and spend an hour looking at records, it's like I flew out here and spent days looking at records. I'm leaving with something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Hotel rooms and everything. It's like,
And then you got to bring the records back on the plane somehow, right? you know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing that last time I was in California. I found some great stuff, and I don't know why I felt like I had to try to sneak it on the plane. I had like a bag of records, and I had my jacket draped over my arm, and I'm like just so waiting to get busted, you know, because you only get one carry-on. So I had a carry-on and a bag of records. I snuck those suckers on, man.
Yeah, that's part of the problem too. Is you know, carrying those records back. You're allowed to carry a bag onto the plane.
Yeah.
How big can that bag be? It can't be that big, you know, or that heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah. But who knows? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Oh,
You guys ever find anything at like secondhand stores or thrift stores or anything like that? I'm always amazed when I see people on like Facebook Marketplace or Instagram like, hey, check out what I found at thrift store today. And it's like all this OG jazz. I'm like, where do you live, dude? How are you finding this stuff? Do you guys ever have luck with that?
You know, not here. There's got to be some secondhand stores somewhere in LA that are good, but I don't have the time for all that. And here in Pasadena, it's been junk. So I don't bother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it anymore because it was just junk for so long. It's like the last 3 or 4 years, or maybe even more than that. I don't even have the patience to go into a thrift store and look through, you know, because I just hadn't found anything for years prior. But if you talk to like JC, like the flip side, you know, out there in Massachusetts, there's a Savers that he goes to. That dude finds gold every single week at that Savers. It's amazing the stuff that he pulls out of that place.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good guy. Maybe the universe is just rewarding him for being such a cool guy. But he finds stuff there all the time. There's a thread that we're on. He'll just send pictures of, this is what I got at Savers today. And you're like, dude.
Yeah.
I have no idea how he does it, but he does it.
I wasn't going to mention any names, but Dave is one of them, man. Dave is always posting stuff. Wyoming Dave, great stuff. I'm just like, bro, original jazz and stuff, man. Good for you, Dave.
Yeah. You know, Rob the Wax, he finds good
where
stuff.
Is Dave in Wyoming?
I don't know. Where are you at, Dave?
What part of Wyoming is Dave in?
Because we want to know what thrift store you're going to, so we can.
Yeah. Well, I was curious because my girlfriend lives in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, so I frequently go out to that area.
There you go.
Riverton. I have to.
Gonna have to GPS
how far
it.
away that is.
Yeah, I did a video actually where I went to a thrift store on my birthday last year and came out with like 30 something records. They were $3 a piece. But that is like now that well has dried up. To your point, Brandon, it's like, and I just did it because we were driving by and I'm like, let me just go inside and see. And the first thing I see is like the Jerry Garcia's first album. And it was just sitting right in the front, mint copy. It turned out it was a German pressing with the white vinyl and everything. And as I pulled it out, I was like, I'll take that. I just saw another one and then another one and another one. It was just one of those things, right place at the right time. But now every time I go back there, it's like I just see crap, you know?
Yeah.
I remember about 10 years ago in South Pasadena, there was a secondhand store called Out of the Closet. And they had records for $1, used records. And for a while there, it was really good. But the place is gone and it dried up. But I was getting some good records for $1. White label promos, good rock albums, $1 a piece. I'm like, wow. But that's long gone. That's
so far gone. I mean, I remember 2008, 2009. If I went into a record store with $50, I expected to walk out with 35 records.
Yeah.
And I mean, just classic stand. You know, your Huey Lewis, your Billy Joel's, your know, all of that stuff. But that stuff was regularly $1, $1.99, in excellent to near mint condition.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, yeah. Like, well, back in the 70s, the records were very it's only all relative too, because you're not making that much money. But I remember good in the used bins, you'd find records for $1, $2 a piece. And what was cool is here in LA, a lot of records, you can get a brand new record that was a promo record that somebody got as a promo from someone that in the business. They would sell it to the record store. The record store would sell it used in the used bin. and yet it was just a new record that was just released, and you get it for $1 or $2.
Howdy.
There he is.
There he is. What's up, man?
Well, actually, hey, Brandon, and nice to
How
meet
are you?
I wanted to show you. You mentioned Kenny G.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I wanted to show I got five Kenny G albums.
There's the one Chance was talking about.
I don't care what anyone says. I like him.
I love Silhouette. Probably my favorite studio album by him right there. That's a great one.
I got what is it? Gravity?
G-Force.
G-Force. Yep. And duo tones.
Yep.
And Gravity.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all those, Dave?
Even the jazz bums make fun of you for liking Kenny G. I don't give a shit. I like him.
Where'd you get all those? Are those thrift store finds or where?
Two of those I got as VLCT from someone. The other three were thrift store finds in the state.
Nice.
Nice.
Do you have a Touch? You know that album Touch? I'm sorry, I'm thinking of John Clemmer. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of John Clemmer.
Oh, I have a bunch of John Clemmer albums. I might have Touch. I think I do. Actually, I like the easy listening '70s jazz too.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
How about Andreas Vollenweider? Remember him? But that was New Age.
I've had four Andreas albums.
Yeah, I like his music.
He's
and I have some New Age records too. I like some of those. They're nice.
Hey, Brandon, I seen you show up an Enya album.
Oh yeah.
Is that a U.S. repress? I'm just curious.
Yeah, this was a 2017 reissue.
I seen those on Discogs. Do they sound good? Does it sound pretty good?
Yeah, I mean it sounds fantastic.
I have the CD version, which is cool too. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sounds absolutely fantastic.
I love Enya, his music.
When I saw they were reissuing this, I was so freaking pumped. Oh my gosh.
You know what's happening though. See, you're showing that record, right? And I've seen her records at the record store. I haven't bought them, but now that you're showing it, the next time I go to the record store and I see it, I might buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, you know,
that's what I liked about these topics, because it's like, expose us all to stuff that everyone else likes that we haven't really. I got to show you guys the record, and I'm only doing it because I don't know. I'm only going to have it like another 2 days. I started. I do auctions now every Saturday on Whatnot, and so I pick up records from Japan, and get them to the people. But this is one that's pretty incredible. I got to show you guys this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is the Guns N' Roses
trade cover,
the original cover, first pressing,
nice.
The band or whatever you want to call it. And I thought, man, like I didn't think I would ever be holding one of these in my hands, so I figured I would show you guys that just because I'm only going to have it a couple more days. That's got the inner sleeve and everything. But I thought, man, that's crazy. I've never seen one of those.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to get one of those back in my collection. I actually had one, but I actually worked it out in a trade for that Zeppelin RL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which Zeppelin is that?
What's that?
Which Zeppelin is it?
That's the RL. Led
Zeppelin 2.
Oh, 2. Is that the only RL of? For some reason, I was thinking there was multiple titles that were.
I think Houses of the Holy also is a RL. I think.
Okay.
There is one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but I had one of those covers that was like VG plus, and I ended up working it in with a trade for that. So I've been wanting to get one back, but I don't know. It's kind of like one of those ones where I want it really bad, but on the Grail list, it's just like, there's other things maybe I want before that.
Yeah.
That record has gone up so much now.
I bet.
It's going for a ton of money.
Now, I did love those Japanese pressings, those Black Sabbaths you showed the other day. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, those were nice. It's funny now. I think I mentioned it in one of my videos where it's like, I'm now in a position where I'm getting a lot of great records, but it's like easy come, easy go. They come and then they go off to someone else. It's like I try to enjoy them while I have them. Like I got this really nice first pressing of Ride the Lightning, and it's got like the merch sheet and everything in it. Just beautiful, beautiful copy.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys I posted this one recently, but this is a first pressing, Japanese pressing of Man Machine Kraftwerk. Just really clean, cool record. This one right here, I don't know. This might be a hidden gem or a guilty pleasure, but the Tron soundtrack. It's tough to find these in good condition and cool Japanese press. Just beautiful. I love this. One of my favorite soundtracks right there.
Is it
actually went
to be hard with that stuff? Man.
Dude, it's so hard. And it's like sometimes I'll get one like it would be a very nice upgrade for me because I'm getting them in like shrink with the hypes, and I'm like, mine doesn't have the hype though, and I'll strongly consider it, but I'm really trying to have the mentality of like, nope, don't start that because then it'll just never end, dude. I'll never want to let them go, you know. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
7-inch single with picture sleeve.
Nice.
And then also
Guns and that's a cool one.
Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
I like 7-inch singles with the sleeve.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
and a lot of those passed through my hands too, man. I got like almost every Beatles 7-inch with the picture sleeves that I've auctioned off over the last few weeks. But it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's so beautiful. I'm like, I don't want to let this go, you know. But yeah, I love the stuff and especially too, a lot of the stuff I'm getting is like Japanese. So a lot of it's different artwork and like, the cool lettering on it and the obi strips and all that. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful pressings.
Well, man, it's got to be getting late for you guys. I love talking to you guys. I would sit here all night. I'm on the West Coast. It's not that late for me, but I feel like you guys have got to be.
I'm Mountain Time Zone. Yeah, I'm Mountain Time Zone.
I just want to be respectful. I just don't want you guys to be like, oh, man, I couldn't break away from Jason's stream. I was trying so hard. That's killer, dude. I actually have that. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Those Zeppelins with the Japanese obis are very cool.
Right.
And they sound great. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And but yet some people complain because they're mastered differently than American pressings. But
right.
I like them, But I have American pressings too.
Yeah.
And I have
it depends. Sometimes they just shipped over all the plates and stuff from the U.S. to Japan, and they just end up being the same records.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool, Brandon.
Who is that?
Let me blow you up here.
Other cover.
The Bon Jovi
nice.
Slippery with Wet.
Oh, that is hella cool,
that
dude.
Is cool.
Original cover.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's hella cool.
Very nice. I've never seen that.
Wow. That's awesome, dude.
That cover.
That's how it was supposed to look originally.
Hey, Brandon, the Bob Dylan on the wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With the gun.
Cardboard gun. I've heard
with the gun.
Nice.
Not even perforated. Beautiful copy of that.
Wow. I'm trying to get one of those, man.
Sorry to interrupt you. The Bob Dylan, what is that, a MoFi? What is that? The Bob Dylan.
This.
No, lower, third shelf.
Oh, down here.
Yeah. Times are changing.
Oh yeah, that's just the MoFi.
Oh, nice. That's a two LP.
You're changing.
2 LP. Okay, nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Still haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, you know what? I see those once in a while, but I don't want to spend the money, because they're not cheap.
Yeah, and that was the same thing. What I said, that the 3 years I worked at a place called the Music Record Shop before Billy opened this place, that guy would get a lot of MoFi stuff in. So I used all my store credit to buy MoFi stuff back then.
That's smart. Yeah, that's great.
Because I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. That stuff is just so expensive these days.
Sure.
Yeah.
So insane.
Yeah.
I think I only have a couple of those. I have I haven't even heard this, but this is one that I'm going to end up auctioning off, but it's Miles Davis on MoFi.
I have an OG mono copy of that one, kind of blue.
Nice.
Come on, Dave. That's awesome, dude.
I keep hoping I find a stereo copy of Kind of Blue someday.
That is cool. I like that.
That boy right there.
Rat.
Oh, that's nice, dude. That's cool. That's cool.
Heard the songs off that first album.
Trying to see what other cool stuff is maybe in here.
Oh yeah, I recently got a Quincy Jones MoFi, which is pretty cool.
Which one?
Hold on.
I didn't know Quincy had something on Mo5.
Yeah, here you go. Luckily I found it easily. You got it, Bad Girl.
Oh yeah.
That one album I hopes to find someday. I don't have that one.
Yeah, Quincy, man.
He
That's
does.
cool.
He does some popular songs on this, like "Summer in the City," "Eyes of Love." But side 2 is a better. Okay, he does "You've Got It, Bad Girl" by Stevie Wonder. But side 2 is a better side because he does "Superstition," real excellent cover of that. He does "Manteca," which is a Latin jazz song by Dizzy Gillespie. He does the soundtrack to Sanford and Son. The
Sanford and Son is cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's cool. Yeah.
I love that song. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another song called "Chump Change." So yeah, it's a MoFi, only $15. You can't beat that.
Cool. Original master recording.
What a life that guy has had, man.
Oh God,
Playing trumpet with Count Basie, and then doing a lot of the arrangements for Basie during that era, and then having his own stuff, and then working with MJ and everybody. It's just like, wow,
Amazing.
how
Easy.
He's been there, done that. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the man.
I have a I forget which. I either have a Dinah Washington or a Star Vine album with Quincy Jones conducting or something.
Is he in his 90s
cool.
now? Is he in his 90s?
He's got to be getting close.
Yeah. Pushing it if he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, upper 80s. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Dude's been around for a long time, boy.
Yeah. He's he goes back to the 50s, right? Wasn't he working in the 50s?
I think so.
He was with Basie, and I have a record where it's all his Quincy arrangements. It's a double LP count. I love Count Basie, so I try to collect all his stuff. But the first time I ever heard of Quincy Jones was with Thriller. You know, when Thriller came out, I think a lot of people, you start hearing about Quincy Jones. But then I was buying Basie records, and I just saw his name, and I was like, whoa. And I seemed like every few years I would learn something new about him. And then I was like, wait, he's actually into the Basie band playing trumpet. That's how he started.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. That guy's done everything.
What's that black cover one? The Dude? Is it called The Dude?
Yeah.
That one.
I have that. Yeah.
That's a great album.
Yep. Yep.
It has that what's that song? 100 Ways with
James Ingram sings
James
two
Ingram.
songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's the other?
Right, Just Once was the other song on there.
I also have the Japanese pressing of Quincy Jones, Killer Joe. You know Killer Joe? I don't think
I know that one.
Yeah, I'd have to go dig it out. But you know that song Killer Joe? It's such a smooth jazz song. It's not smooth jazz, but it's just an excellent jazz song.
Yeah, I don't think I know that one.
Yeah,
I don't recognize the name.
Yeah. Oh, just Google it. You would. It's a great song.
A song from '63 called "Killer Joe" by the Rocky Teens.
No. It's called. It's by the Rocky Fellas.
Rocky Fellas. Sorry.
The Rocky Fellas. And it's the group. The group was a Filipino group, and the producer was Bert Burns that did that. I have it on a CD, and they're like young kids. They're like
heard that song.
They're young kids, and the song is like a novelty song. It's a cute little song, but it's a fun song.
It is. I've heard it. Yeah.
It's a fun song. I like it. Yeah. Look at Killer Joe. Yeah, I like that song.
Dancing with Maureen or something, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
Jeez, look at all the freaking notes I've had to take tonight. Just the stuff I have to go check.
I know. I know. I was taking a bunch of notes when you guys were talking about. Yeah. Let's see. Invaders spacing out. 100% pure poison.
Right.
Samande or Simon. I don't even heard of them. I'm like, okay, I need that.
Well,
Cradle.
Yep.
You know, that's the thing about collecting records is that you're always learning of new records and new artists and music, and it's just infinite. It's infinite. It continues. It's just, it never ends. It just never ends.
Right.
Just when you think you know everything, it's like, nope.
Right.
Another rabbit hole to go down.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, because like every day you don't buy a new record, there was bands that just made 20,000 new songs that day.
I know. What's like Felipe? I don't know about you guys, but like Felipe with the Jazz Bums, he and I kind of go back and forth on Facebook and stuff, and he listens to Bandcamp, and he's always discovering like new jazz stuff on there that I've never heard of, and some of it's not even on vinyl, but he's like, oh, here, check out this link, and I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. You know, I never thought about Bandcamp as a resource for finding like new, really good music and stuff. So he's all over it. He loves all this stuff that,
right.
You know, he's less about the classical jazz stuff. He loves that new stuff that's coming out now.
Yeah. That's actually where I discovered probably my favorite modern day jazz artist, which is a woman by the name of Muriel Grossman. Which is basically she is just the reincarnation of John Coltrane.
Oh, really?
And she sounds like him, she riffs like him, like everything about it is John Coltrane across the board. And everything she releases, she does it strictly through Bandcamp.
Okay.
I take that back. There is that E something site over in Europe. She releases from there too, but she sells a lot of her stuff through Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic jazz artist.
Wow.
Have you guys heard of Esperanza Spalding?
I have.
She's a bass player.
I got a CD by her.
Feel like I have.
Yeah.
I mean, the name sounds familiar, but yeah.
Yeah, she came on the scene about 15, 20 years ago. And I have one of her CDs. I haven't kept up with her.
Yeah, Spectrum saw Muriel live in 2022. That's cool. I saw a great band. I saw the Blue Note Quintet perform because they're doing their, I guess it's 85th anniversary this year, and they were in Portland, and just so happened, and so I went and checked them out, and it was a lot, obviously.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
and,
new artists and stuff. It was just
used.
Nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
I need to listen to them again. I got too many CDs.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, that cover does look familiar. Just want to flash that really quick. That's that Muriel Grossman I was just talking about.
Oh, there we go.
Heard of it before.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
I've never seen that.
What is the date of that recording or that record?
2019.
Okay, all right.
And then there's also like Golden Rule was another one.
Okay.
She sings or plays an instrument.
She just plays sax.
Oh, cool.
Just straight jazz.
Yeah.
Is she accompanied by a band, Brandon, or is it just her?
No, there's a drummer, a keyboard, standing bass player, and then a guitar player.
Okay, that's cool.
It really is just kind of right in that mix of that traditional John Coltrane, maybe right before Coltrane started getting a little creative, a
little more avant-garde and all that.
Which I love that phase of him, but
yeah,
kind of right before that stage, she literally sounds exact, and the band sounds exactly like that.
Cool.
That is awesome
stuff.
I have to check that out. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I could find, I don't know if I remember the guy's name.
Yeah, the collecting continues,
I know.
Yeah, I've been looking at that
album. Really great. Talk about Train. This just came out last year, which is maybe you guys have it. Evenings at the Village Gate with Coltrane and Eric Dolphy together, which they performed a lot together, but nice. This one is really nice. It's a double LP with just some great stuff on it, and nice. It's kind of like they've been just like releasing on Record Store Day. They've been releasing a lot of jazz that's like newly discovered or whatever, stuff that wasn't really available. So that one's really cool.
Is that a 45 or 33?
It's a 33. Yeah, on Impulse.
Nice.
So
nice.
Cool.
Nice.
It's nice. Really nice.
So production of the Impulse label.
I'm gonna change it just a little bit. You guys like soul music, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, you ever heard of the Futures?
Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
Doesn't look familiar.
You ever heard of these guys?
You'll like it.
I haven't.
No, I guess not.
Okay, so I think they have like 3 records, but this is their 3rd one, I think. I'm not sure actually. So they're on Philadelphia Records, Philadelphia International Records, great label, right? They got this killer song on it called "Ain't No Time for Nothing." Okay, it is just such an awesome soul song. The arrangement is such a groove to it, and the vocals and it's just so damn good. I love that song to death. But yeah, the Futures, past, present, and the futures.
Do they have any big hits? Like they were like well known?
Well, I'm gonna say that "Ain't No Time for Nothing" is probably the most popular song.
Okay.
Yeah. So make a note. Take note of that.
Add another note.
And I guarantee you that "Ain't No Time for Nothing" is it's the best song in this album. But man, oh man, it's so tasty, so soulful. It's got that groove. It's just, and it's, I guess the house band from Philadelphia Records that's playing on it.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
they're nailing it.
Nice.
Great song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you guys ever go down that Prince rabbit hole where you start looking at all his different projects and stuff, and you can always start with the Time, obviously, and some of those Time records are so great. It's just basically a Prince record with Morris Day singing on it.
There's
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
But then one I discovered, I haven't bought it yet, but it's called The Family. I don't know if you guys have heard that. It's like
They had one R&B hit, "Screams of Passion" or something.
yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, I think they just came out with one record, but when you hear it, it's Prince, and it's like, someone else doing the lyrics, the vocals and stuff, but it's like, oh, I got to get this one now. His stuff is just so, even when he does stuff for other people, it's like, you just know this is Prince,
Right.
and a lot of those other bands that were like his projects or whatever you want to call them, like he's performing all the instruments, it's just that someone else is singing it. He didn't even take credit for that stuff, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was definitely he's definitely a genius, to say the least.
It's amazing. It's amazing because, okay, not only would he play all these instruments, he would dance. The guy could dance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like not only does he play all this stuff and write the music and sing, he dances. I mean, he covered everything. I mean, what else do you want? I mean, the guy was just
and a fan. I was fortunate enough to see him play live. One of his last shows in the Bay Area, I saw him, Andy. And I knew he was great. And people would always talk about like, oh, Prince is so great live. But you hear that a lot. Like, okay, yeah, so-and-so is always great live. And then I saw him and I was like, holy crap. And I knew he shredded on guitar, which is the point I was going to make. He's a very good guitar player. But man, when you see him live, whoo, it was epic.
Yeah.
But yeah, such a great guitar player too.
Yep.
Yeah. But the true genius behind that guy is just the fact he can even have the thought that he was going to be a 4'5". I mean, I'm more exaggerating.
Yeah, right.
4'5", little scrawny, light skin, peach fuzz chest little thing, and he's just like, I'm going to put on a pair of 5-inch heels and I'm just going to become like one of the biggest sex symbols in the entire world. Just to even pull that off.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, how did it even come to your mind that that's what you were going to do? I mean, everything about you was supposed to say you cannot do that. You'll never be able to do that. And
that's such a great point, man, because it's so easy to take it for granted, right? When you see people already in full blossom and you think like, oh, that's just Prince. But that guy had to get there. He had to go through all this life and have the audacity, like you said, to even imagine that could happen, and then goes and does it. And has massive success. Yeah, you're right, dude. That's crazy.
Well, wasn't he a child prodigy? Wasn't he like talented at a young age already? Wasn't he already like?
I think so. I feel like his parents played instruments or something. Maybe I'm not entirely sure. I feel like he was around music at a young age.
Amazing.
Yeah, just. I mean, even you look at that very first album, like, and then not the black one, but the very first one. You look on that back cover. Like he's riding that horse, like bare ass.
Yeah.
And even on the front, again, it's like you're not even anything at this point in time. And yet he's like, this is what I'm going to freaking do. I'm going to get on a horse, buck ass naked.
If he could have just been like full frontal, he would have done it, dude. He was like, they got the chest with the hair, and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that interview he did on American Bandstand with was it American Bandstand with Dick Clark?
Yeah.
Real early. Yeah.
Did you see that?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Like he performs, and then Dick Clark is asking him questions, just like, "How long you been playing?" And Prince won't talk to him.
Right. Yeah, I have seen
everything he says. Just
a lot of attitude. Yeah.
He's already got it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll see if that interview's on YouTube.
Yeah. You got to check that out. It's great.
I never saw him in concert, man. I never got to see him. Yeah, but you know what? I have a friend here in LA that he goes to so many concerts, and so I asked him because he saw Prince, and I said, "How many times did you see Prince?" He said he saw him at least 25 times.
Wow.
25 times, and I think he was part of the fan club, so he got invited to the after parties after the concert.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's got a lot of his memorabilia that only the fan club members get. And I'm like, damn, you. Yes, he got a lot of that. It's like, wow.
Just when you start thinking you don't have enough time in the day to do something, go look at everything he accomplished, on a regular basis. It's like, okay. I know. I hate even bringing up that I saw him now that you can't see him anymore. I hate to even mention it because it's so,
But you got to see him, which is great. I mean, you got to see him. That's awesome. A great memory right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That Purple Rain movie it's still a good movie if you ever watch rerun that. Watch that one.
I watched it not that long ago, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll confess, I've only seen parts of it. I've never seen the whole thing. You know what? I have Prince in my collection, and yet I'm not a hardcore Prince fan, but I have his records.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's funny how some movies hold up. Like you think about it, like, oh, Purple Rain. If I didn't see that for a long time, I would think like, oh, that must have just. There's no way it holds up. And then you go see it, and I watched it again, and I was like, this is actually done well. Like they did a good job, filming it and putting it together. Like you feel like you're watching something. It's not like some of these movies you try to go back and watch them, and it's like it's just not going to happen. It was fine when I was 12, but yeah,
right. Except for Grease 2, like that lasts forever.
Oh man! All right, that's one I didn't write down yet, dude.
I have to work that in again.
Well, Grease 2 kind of had some catchy songs in it, I guess. I remember some of that.
Man,
is that because of the soundtrack, Brandon, or just a good movie? What is it about it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just one of those things where obviously when things catch you in your childhood, because I think Grease, even though I saw it as a kid, it kind of came along a little bit before my childhood kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And Grease 2 was one that used to just come on cable all the time. And
HBO all the time.
I don't know how I don't remember that because I was a total HBO kid.
Yeah, all the and the thing too, I think that I like about it is that Grease 2 was a little lighter. Like it wasn't as serious as Grease.
Okay.
Just in terms of like, the songs and stuff. And again, we're talking about Grease here. So it's not, we're talking about like, Pantera.
Right.
But like the songs and the attitudes and everything were just a little more of a serious note to them, where Grease 2 was just a lot lighter.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just songs were more fun, more catchy, and I freaking love it.
One of Michelle Pfeiffer's early roles too.
Oh, she in that too?
Yeah, that didn't hurt.
My girlfriend loves Grease, so I don't have to press her to watch Grease 2. I'm sure it's going to be an easy sell, so we'll definitely check it out.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Well, dude, we should do this again, man.
Yeah.
I could talk all night. I just feel like I don't know. There's like one person. Hey, Spectrum Archives, bro. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us, man. I love you, dude. And thanks for contributing to the show and everything, man.
Pushing 4 hours, man. Jeez.
I know, man. Yeah, that's how it is. We're in good company, man. It's easy for the time to go by for sure.
Indeed.
But yeah, let's do this again. I'm trying to go live I'm trying to go opposite of like Chance. So I know Chance does every other Thursday. I'm trying to do the other Thursdays. And he and I have talked about maybe some other things, but yeah, man, it was fun having you guys. John, it was great to meet you, dude.
Thank you. I jumped on because the subjects you had said, well, you know what? I have some records I could grab real fast.
Yeah.
Maybe come on and so that's why normally I'm not on live streams, or rarely do I get on live stream.
Yeah.
And then it takes some preparation, and my records are not in the best order.
Yeah.
They're not completely organized. So it takes me, to dig and find something. I have, by the way, I've done 2 live streams with, Soul Disco.
Oh, yeah.
I did 2 Latin live streams with her. So we talked about Latin records.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
And I want to do another one. I don't know when she wants to do it. So I have done those, and I do collect Latin records. But I find that I need practice. I find that I don't do the best job explaining the records that I have, and I need to practice. Where some guys are more natural, they have a lot more, information behind the record.
Same as me. I'm too quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing I do love about the live streams is I feel more comfortable doing pre-recorded videos just personally because I can do my research and all that stuff and edit them and everything. This is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I love being with friends and good people. And you guys teach me so much, man. It's like I just love to sit back and learn new things and listen to you guys. So
there, again, there's so many good videos. I mean, besides the live streams, there's so many people out there doing live streams and also just videos that I could spend 2 hours a day or 3 or whatever, and I'm just learning of all these great records, and I'm like, and you got to take the notes and try to remember what they talked about and try to find those records. It's like being in school.
yeah, exactly. The new school.
Always like the jazz bums. These guys go on and on about these jazz records. I'm like,
they do.
I collect some jazz, but not that much.
Yeah.
But it's like, now they're talking about another record that maybe I should get.
Yeah. There's so much jazz. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It just never ends.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys, man. Thanks so much for joining. And honestly,
thanks for having us, man. Thanks for hosting it.
Thanks,
yeah,
Jason.
absolutely.
Hey, there you go.
There we go.
I can't do it.
You do that. Mine didn't do that. I don't have fancy.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that on? Are you on FaceTime? How are you doing that, John? I thought it was just on FaceTime.
It's this feature on the MacBook. You can do these things.
I don't have a MacBook.
Well, that's what I got too. Let's see. We're doing.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I don't know, man. There you go. You got it.
It works, yeah.
Hey, who needs drugs, right? Who needs drugs?
Yeah, see?
All right.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Spectrum. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys.
Take
Have
care.
a good one,
next time.
Good night. Bye-bye.